I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do, someone think that it's passionate. Every word I'm in, so descriptive like an adjective. I gotta bend it. Get out against people who patent it. Feeling negative when you should be getting accidents. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Shit slow, getting fast, like a roast, like a gas. Think I'm okay and last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last. And to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Nothing I can get through now. I gotta go anyone's home. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Something positive, mental health is confidence, screams and modesty, so not even stated things, but we need to take away. I'm playing in mind games, but instead of six, something not illogical, something that is topical, further on what you go, make yourself unstoppable, you're irresponsible, but they're always possible, if you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, if I'm lost and they spread, I'll be great one day, going off on my meds, so I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in, I will make it to the top, taking off, and knowing I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind it can only take it. I'm chasing a dream that I never several ages of vacant. Modern kids dumb for the taking. Now that I've been through life, I never got anyone else. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough, you wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Okay, hey everybody, welcome. Happy Thursday, I think it is. Yeah, Thursday, August 6th. Today is actually my niece's birthday. And she's, I guess, probably early 40s. I got a big family, so hard to keep track. But she was due on 8/8/88. And so however old she would be, I don't know. But my sister couldn't stand being pregnant anymore. And so we went walking around the lake and she went into labor. But I told her, hold out 2 more days, just 2 more days. Because the kid's birthday would have been 8/8/88. But instead she was born on 8/6/88. Anyway, I guess that's okay too. Nobody listens to my advice. Hold on a second. I had the window open, so I got some bugs in here. Dang it. Kind of forgot. I had the window open so the little kittens could get back in because they went outside for the first time today. Hold on a second. Get down. Get down. Go, get down. Down. Anyway, so there is that. So as you can see by the title, we're going to be going over this some of this bizarre Amish story that keeps changing, by the way. Eric told the crazy story You know what? I should probably double check to make sure everybody could hear me before I keep going. Can you guys hear me? I don't have my chat up, so I can look on the phone. So I gotta clean my screen up real nice. All right. So, yes. Okay. Thank you, Florida. I thought I should probably double check to make sure people can even hear me. But anyway, so yes, we're gonna go over the bizarre Amish log cabin story, and we're not even really gonna go over the first story because we'll touch on it because Eric's story has changed, and now he's trying to make the story fit whatever the narrative. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up real quick. I wanna. Oh, and then we're gonna go. So yeah, so we're gonna go over this Amish stuff, and okay, a second. I'm gonna get to the comments in just a second. I'm gonna pull up on the big screen so I can see you guys better. All right. So I'm gonna go back and say hi to everybody real quick. I am the one waiting. Well, hey Betty, good to see you tonight. Welcome. And Dee, good to see Dee and everybody. Alicia, welcome. Mary Comp, welcome. David, welcome. Tragic, welcome. Italian Girl, welcome. Red Frog, welcome. Let's see. Florida, A Life in the Sun, welcome. Let's see. Alicia, Betty, Mary, Florida. 55, welcome. We're going to see in the chat tonight. 55 has been going through all my old videos, and I always appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Tragic, Betty. Who am I missing? T-Bro. Good to see T-Bro tonight. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, so Eric claims growing up without a dad is bad. Why does he having his daughter grow up without it anyway? Anyway, so let's my dog's outside barking right now. I might have to bring him in. Because when it's pitch dark out, God only knows what he's barking at. It'll be something scary. All right. Yeah, so I had the window open and I totally forgot. I'm almost obsessed with seeing Eric. Yeah. He is a good study. It's like a psychiatric study. You know, they could, like, big universities could run videos of Eric and they could do studies on him. He'd be quite the specimen. Yeah, they could have a big well, good evening to people. Good evening to everybody. Brought to justice. Yeah, that would be nice, huh? And yeah, I don't think Eric's in the clear, so blast making fun of it. Okay, so today I was listening to because I was looking for the clip that I'm gonna use, right? And I heard Eric saying about in January, he said that, you know, when Patrick got arrested, he said, I don't know, call me immature, but I really enjoyed that, seeing him getting arrested. And then everybody thought he was arrested. Well, I thought, no, you know, not everybody, Eric. But he's saying, oh, people were saying I was arrested. And so I waited a couple days, and then me and my wife were on a date, and we did a selfie or something. But yeah, he admitted that he enjoyed seeing Patrick being arrested, the perp walk. Enjoyed seeing that Patrick had been arrested on all them felonies. So, comes around, goes around. So, you know, doing to others. So if he, obviously he wants that done unto you, he doesn't think it's bad. So it was kind of surreal when Patrick got arrested. It was January, I don't even know, Friday the 14th or something. I don't even know what day it was. It really don't matter. Anyway, yeah, and the perp walk and all that on Creepalach's channel, and the word spread like wildfire that Patrick had been arrested, and it wasn't just like a little thing. It was what was it, 11 felonies or 12? I don't know, a lot of felonies. Anyway, in fact, I don't even think there was any misdemeanors. I think they're all felonies. So what? 5? Yeah, I think there was 11. So anyway, that was kind of bizarre and kind of interesting. So I think Eric did a tour with the Amish, got a little footage, brought some store goods, then got a business card as a receipt, did the same City Hall. Yeah, you're right, tragic. And we are going to see a few of those clips. Now Eric took down the video of when they got back from the Amish. Yeah, they were like flying high. Anyway, but the funny thing is, oh, I forgot to, 1 second. So the funny thing is that Eric still has he still has this footage up on his Facebook. Yeah. And I'm going to show you guys something because I forgot to set this up. Hold on a second. Let me know if the sound is okay or if there's any problems. I'll try to make adjustments. Yeah, so here we go. Put this up. Yeah, see it. All right. Hold on a second. Remember, you got the news. Patrick's arrest for some. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's. Yeah, people actually was the only one that knew about it, so he gets the credit for that. All right, hold on a second. Well, hey, say it out loud. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. All right, so just a second. Let me turn my ringer off real quick. All right, so I'm going to pull up your comments so I can see them. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, crap. Huh. All right. All right. So I had a bunch of tabs pulled up here, but then then it all jammed up. So give me just a second here. All right, can you guys? I watched him before anything happened. I swear I could just feel the plotting and planning. Hold on a second, you guys. What is going on here? I can't seem to get that picture up. Hold on a second. All right. As long as you guys can hear me okay, I guess it's going to be all right. All right, so I had to pull up a couple extra things. Oh, and I see now I don't even have an icon. That's interesting. All right, so I'm going to first of all show you and remind everybody that this probably has to be a month at least that I showed Eric or somebody still has the Whittaker Instagram page up. It's probably been over a month. Hold on a second. Pull this up. But it's been a while. And, we heard out of Eric's own mouth that adult protection in West Virginia that he worked very closely with. And we heard that he was supposed to take down all these videos. But for some reason, these are still up. And look, Whittaker family, Eric Carroll, still has 99 posts, still has 95,000 followers. Only 2 are following for some reason. That's weird. But anyway, so all these are back up again. And yeah, so I thought he was supposed to take these down. And so anyway, this is still up and running. Now, let's see. Yeah, anyway, so it's still under Eric's name. So yeah, that should have probably been taken down. He wasn't supposed to be, because remember, he's under investigation for exploiting the Whittakers. So anyway, so I looked on his Eric Carroll page, okay, because I wanted to see if he's doing anything over there. And specifically, I was looking at these Amish videos that he's got. And it's funny because when Mark Douche was on Eric's channel, Mark reminded Eric that he still has some Amish videos up on his Facebook, and Eric looked kind of confused, and then they just kind of moved on. But yeah, Eric, you do. You still have these Amish videos up here. So I don't know. Anyway, so on his Eric Carroll page, right? Let's see. No, it must be pretty old because I scrolled back pretty far. But anyway, as you can see, this is the Eric Carroll page for Facebook. So he has Eric Carroll Facebook. He's got Dad Talk Facebook, 2 different Facebooks. And again, I thought he was supposed to take down the videos. Let's see. So where is the? But we're gonna go back, and we're gonna check out these Amish videos. Now, the reason we're gonna talk about the Amish videos is because Eric and his friend Mark Douche has changed the story about the Amish. In particular, they changed the story about the bishop. That's one of the things. Now that I said last night that the bishop's name was Sam Krupp, but it's not. It's Sam Chupp. CHUPP. So you take the P out, you put the M. Just remember Chump, because I think they used him for a jump. Sam Chump. I'm sorry. His real name is, the bishop's name is Sam Chump, and he is the one in Pearisburg that they supposedly went and did this big deal with, right? And we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the news story that him and Mark have come up with, because the story that they told last August, well, I guess you would say the first week of September, when they called the deal off, in particular Friday, September 5th, they called the deal off and they walked away from the Whittakers and all this and blamed it on Betty and blamed it on BJ and blamed it on Larry. But they had walked away. Now, anyway, hold on a second. I'm going to have to pull these up in another tab. So here you have, look at all these Whittaker videos he still has up. And look at this, 177,000, 376,000. Here's a 500,000 right here. Now, I'm pretty sure that these are off of Patrick's Facebook. At least some of them. 400,000. Now, I don't know if these are the views like all together or these are views since he put them on his page. But as you can see, these are all the official Whittaker, either Facebook or YouTube. So it looks like it starts about here, 600,000. He's got one hugging Ray. It looks like this might have been before. Yeah. So as you can see, I mean, the most he was getting was 5,000 to 6,000 views. Here's a big one at 8,000, 7,000. And once you get into the Whittaker stuff, now you're talking, 500,000 views, some of these. So here's one with Ray. I don't know if that probably is one too. That looks definitely like, but here's the Whittakers. This is mostly all Labor Day. This is all actually these are all like the last week of August, first week of September. So, but this is when he first met Timmy. Remember, he was trying to pretending to teach him his ABCs, A, B, C, like he's teaching him ABCs. And you can see Timmy's yawning, bored to death, because he learned them like 40 years ago. Anyway, so he's still got these up here. Now, he was told by Adult Protection in the first week of December to take these down. He took the Whittaker page down, but on YouTube, but Instagram is still up. And then he's got these on his very own Eric Carroll page, as you can see. So he's racking it. He's making money off of this, because I'm pretty sure, especially with this amount of views, that he's probably making some good money. So here he is. He's doing all this stuff, and then we get to the Amish tour. So we're going to go into that. This is the Amish tour. This 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got four. He's got 4 videos. Now, personally, what I think happened is that, anybody, the store's open to anybody. They went down to that Parisburg, Virginia. It's a little market, like all Amish stores. They got the canned goods and the vegetables and the pies and baked goods, and they also got Amish chips and the cookies and anyway. And of course, who can forget the big blocks of Amish cheese, right? So anyway, but that's open to the public. Anybody can go there. Now, I don't know if this is like a tour. It looks like maybe some type of a tour that they took. It's either that. This is either like a guided tour that you can go. Because these Amish, they're all over the United States. Anywhere from like $30 to $100, you can tour their place. Pretty much everything you see in the pictures is what you're going to see. So anyway, but here is in particular, this is Eric and Mark at Sam Chupp's Amish log house. And I don't know but this is like a mill. And anyway, this is a schoolhouse. So I don't know what's going on. Eric made it sound like, well, this is what he said. The first round, his first story, when they were, they thought they were pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. Their story was kind of sloppy, right? And he says, yeah, they went down there. They went to, Virginia, because Robert Mass said, hey, that's what we're going to just scout out, and we're going to find some bishop that's going to do this. Robert suggested they start in Virginia, just like a stab in the dark, right? And so they're going to go in Virginia, which is another state away from, from West Virginia, where they're at. And so do these people even build in Virginia? And why can't you just pick up the phone? These people own a business. Why can't you just pick up the phone? They want you to. They want you to call them. They want business. But they act to quote Dwayne. He said that they pulled off the Hail Mary of Hail Marys when the Amish agreed to build the Whittakers' home. Okay. So going to a builder and having them agree to build your home for $500,000 is the Hail Mary of Hail Marys. Anyway, just complete bullshit. But anyway, the first story was that they needed Robert because he used to be Amish and he can be like the Amish diplomat. He can like be the go-between between the Amish, the settlers and the normies, you know what I mean? The modern people. He can be that bridge in between, you know what I mean? Like anybody needs one. Anyway, so that was his role, and then they said, we're just going to start in Virginia. Now the dumb thing that they didn't really tell everybody is that John Mast has not just his son that was gunned down, he's got another son who actually makes log homes. And so John lives in Idaho, right? If I got that right. He lives in Idaho. And he's not Amish anymore. He's been exiled, which means they don't talk to you anymore. And but somehow you're supposed to believe that he's the one that's going to make the deal. So they fly out Robert, and Mark comes in from California. Now my question is, so many questions, but the obvious one is, first of all, obviously they don't need either one of them. They don't need Mark, and they don't need Robert Mast. In fact, they should leave Robert Mast far, far out of this, because they wouldn't want nothing to do with him being a ex-Amish exiled or whatever. And so anyway, that was the plan. Now, like I said, he didn't tell everybody that his own son builds these cabins or these Amish homes. So I have a clip. We're gonna watch their news story. In the news story, he actually says Mark recollects when Eric called him up and said, "Hey, you got to come up to Odd, West Virginia. We're doing this project, and anyway, we're doing the Whittakers." And Mark acts like he's never heard nothing about it. He said, "Oh, I don't know nothing about it." But he said, Eric told me that, "Hey, you got to get up here. We got a lot of support out here," which is translate to a lot of money, because what other support is there? But he actually says that he came out because basically there was a lot of money involved. So anyway, so then when they get back and the deal falls through, and they're and I made videos of that night on September 5th when he said they called the deal off, and they blamed it on the BJ's tweaky fingers, and blamed it on Betty, blamed it on everybody. So they call it off, and they're like partying it up. You know what I mean? They're like having a party. And anyway, and basically washing their hands, everything. So we're going to watch a few of these clips, and we're going to go over to their news story, because the old story is when they were partying and living it up and having a good time, Mark Douche, Eric's buddy, let it slip that they had known the bishop the whole time for 35 years. Now the news story is different. But anyway, so let's look at the little tours that they did. To me, this looks like some type of a guided tour. Yeah, they might have, maybe approached the bishop or the community and said, "Hey, we got $1 million, man. We got a lot of support, man. We got all this money, and we're interested in building," whatever bullshit story. We have no idea. But we do know that the police have spoken to this bishop, because in the clip I'm going to show you, Mark is very mad. And he says, "Screw you, F you, West Virginia." And he says, "And I don't care if you don't believe our Amish story." So obviously the police don't believe the Amish story. And hopefully they went and, give, Sam Chup a ring-a-ding-ding, and let him tell his side of the story. Because Eric has mentioned more than once that Amish don't have electricity, they don't have internet, they don't have TV, they are completely isolated. So even Eric said, "Well, I'm going to tell you about." He snitched on the bishop that I think the bishop liked I think he liked the air conditioning. He didn't say it, but I know he did. And he'll never see this, you guys, because they have no access to internet. So that just shows you he's conscious, and he's even verbalizing the fact that they can say anything they want. Sam Chupp is never going to hear it. So they could pull out a few pictures, a few quick reels like this, and to make up anything about it. You know. So anyway, let's check this out. We got a kitten up here. Oops, am I kitten? All right. Let me pull up the first one here, and okay, I want to make sure. All right. There it is. Oh, we gotta get the sound going. Where's the sound? Now this is this would have been here. Where's my calendar? This would have been this would have been well, I don't have the calendar here, but I'll tell you. This would have been either late on Wednesday the 4th or I'm sorry, 4th, 5th. No, I'm sorry. It would have been late on September 3rd, Wednesday, or it would have been, most likely this is Thursday the 4th, and just coincidentally, this was the same day that Betty had the restraining order. And Eric told Betty that I'm going to be out of town. You won't be able to reach me. Now, what do you mean? You have cell phones. Everybody's got cell phones. Why, just because you go over the border a couple hour drive away, why wouldn't you be able to be reached? Well, he said that because that way it clears him of missing Betty's court date. You know what I mean? Because I believe that was all planned out. But here we go. We don't have a date on it, but I know it's August 4th. This is the day that they were there. So it's him and his friend Mark, and they are inside the Amish church and schoolhouse. Now, to me, this looks like a tour. And this doesn't prove that they're buying any house or arranging anything for the Whittakers or anything.
I have school here in a week or so. Then we're going to have a church out for permanent later yet. Right now, when we have school, we push.
That's it.
I have school here in a week or so. Then we're going to have a church out for permanent later yet.
Right. All right. A school and a church. This proves nothing. It looks like somebody giving a tour. You know what I mean? Listen, I went over to the Amish house, to their big compound twice. Once on a Saturday, and then I went again on a Tuesday, a couple days later. I could have done this, and it doesn't mean I'm building the Whittakers a home. You know what I mean? So anyway, none of these prove anything. There's nothing about them talking about a house. Nothing.
Years.
Check out this Amish built table. As a matter of fact, if you go on Facebook Marketplace, people sell these tables. They're really nice. But it's made out of a big chunk of log. It's like a coffee table, whatever. And then they put like blue paint in there and some other stuff. And then they put a high gloss like polyurethane over it, really thick. And they go like, I don't know, thousands of dollars. But anyway, so this is supposed to check out this Amish built table. This proves nothing again.
More than one piece glued together. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a river. It is cool.
You know how many people have bought this in Santa Cruz? All the builders. I said, hey, can you
Years. This is more than one piece glued together. Yeah. The river scene.
Wait a second. Trying to go around this dang kitten here. I'm trying to get a little closer so you can see it. Yeah, it's a river scene. It's nice. People make them all the time. This has nothing to do with the Whittakers, right?
Yeah. You know how many people would want this in Santa Cruz? All the builders. If I said, hey, can you yours?
There you go. See, I mean, and Mark is saying, you know how many builders and contractors love this thing in Santa Cruz? Then it sounded like he was going to say, so they're trying to be high rollers. They're probably expressing fake interest in all this stuff, you know what I mean? But nothing about a Whittaker house.
Oh, this is more than one piece glued together. Yeah, possible because, yeah, the river scene. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Nope. Okay, up here.
You know how many people would want this in Santa Cruz? All the builders. If I said, hey, can you yours?
Yeah. Big businessman, Mark Douche. Hold on a second. That's two. He's got four of them. And this proves absolutely nothing. These are like 30-second clips. I mean, so first we had the school and church house tour. Then we had a picture of an Amish table. And now we're going to have wood inventory at the Amish warehouse. Now they're at the warehouse for some reason. Now this, and this has over 250,000 views, by the way. All these do.
I'd say a little bit of inventory. Oh, look at this stuff.
And I imagine this is for building those tables that you just saw. They're big slabs of wood. I think what this is, I think they're touring the coffee table guy's house. You know what I mean? Because look at him. These are the slabs he's using. Same guy, same house.
Now this is all wood you guys cut?
We got ourselves on the.
See,
Down below in another building.
this is a place that makes those tables. And remember, the only business card that Mark Douche pulled out that night was, oh, you guys, they make Amish furniture. You should see the tables. Remember that? The only card they had to their name was, and the guy that makes the cookies or something. But they had, the only thing they had, remember, was the guy that built the Amish furniture. And this is why, because they went to the tour.
Whoa.
Whoa. Wasting this man's time. I mean,
They cut 6 foot wide, 6 foot wide, all the way.
they're bullshitters.
Can't remember on his lighting room.
Oh, I would love one of those.
Oh, look at this guy, this looks like wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then look at, those are the wagon wheels that they make those chandeliers are. He just said those are for the chandeliers. They have those rustic, chandeliers with the lights hanging, like usually like Edison bulbs. They have them hanging from those wagon wheels there from the ceiling. And yeah, that's what it is. So can't get out of the way, please. Thank you. Yeah. She sees the mouse. Cats can't resist the mouse. All right, no, you must leave now. Thank you. Yeah, wood inventory at the Amish warehouse. Okay, what does this have to do? Not like they're going to build a Whittaker's house out of coffee tables. Thank you, Susan, for the 5 gifts. Is that Susan?
I'm sure you got beef sauce. Yeah.
Here's Mark Douche over here. He's
Is that the little one?
okay. That I gotta say is kind of cool. Look at how long that chainsaw is. But anyway, probably not worth the thousands of dollars that they pissed away the Whittakers' money to go look at it. But anyway.
That's the little one. Oh. That's why we started out, David and I, cutting these slabs. Yeah. Did you really? Yep. Alaskan king.
See, this is the guy that makes the coffee tables. That's it. Okay, so I want to know where's
They're constantly.
the video of them talking to the Amish bishop or buying 40-pound blocks of cheese? That's what I want to know. Where's those videos? Where's the videos where you met with and don't say they don't want to be on video, because that guy was just on video. That guy is 100% Amish, man. You can get more Amish than that. And he's on video, so you can't say, oh, no. But this is just the guy who makes the furniture. Oh, and this is kind of creepy because next up is the Amish. Okay. Next up is the Amish lamps made out of sheepskin. Ruh-roh. So when I was growing up, my mom, we were out in the country, right? And my mom would stop at these random farmhouses to buy, I don't know, sweet corn or whatever. And always when we were pulling up these long driveways, like nobody even knew we were at, my mom would say, "Oh, I hope it's not Ed Gein, because he turns people into lampshades. He makes lampshades out of human skin." And Ed Gein, I think he was from Wisconsin or something. He wasn't far from here. But my mom used to scare the hell out of me. Like, what the hell? Yeah, he turned people's user skin to make lampshades. Anyway, so yeah, I don't like these kind of lampshades because I've emptied out a lot of houses. Once in a while, you'll get these like animal skin lampshades. And I'm thinking, well, I hope it's it. I mean, I don't want that. Anyway, to me, it's creepy, and it always reminds me of Ed Gein's lampshades. Hold on a second. So here we are. Amish lampshades made of sheepskin. Yeah. So let's see what they gotta say.
It's just the risk. Because then it makes it worse. Never block.
These are different seas, like mountains, and then the Oklahoma, Texas.
Part of put your hand in the way so long, it's just the risk.
That's it. What are like a 10-second clips? That's it. That's what he's got to show for the Amish. No Sam Chup. No talking. So we're gonna go over. Actually, first of all, I'm gonna go into the chat and see your comments because you guys, I haven't looked at your comments. No, a second. Let me look at your comments. Hopefully everything is okay. I haven't checked in with you guys for a while. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go over. So right there, as you can see, wasn't proof of anything. And then they went to that store in Parisburg, and that anybody can walk in. In fact, they want you to. It's kind of like a little tourist place. You know what I mean? The Amish store in Parisburg, and it's got it was called something like the County Market or something. But anyway, yeah, like all of them, they got they got shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves. We got one up the road. I mean, it's actually on their property where they live. But so. They got canned goods, they got vegetables, they got pies and cookies, and they got cheese. But I don't know if anybody buys the whole doggone block, especially when you're on vacation. All right, so yeah, the lampshades are a little creepy, but hey. So we're gonna get over to. Oops, hold on a second. Mute that. All right, so hold on just a second. Let me get back into the chat a second. Then we're gonna pull up the last time that they talked about this Amish thing, and I'll tell you where they've gone and changed things. So first of all, oh come on. So I want to thank Susan Says So for sent 5 of the Curious Soul Deep Dive Study gift membership. So I want to thank you so much, Susan. That's very kind and generous. Thank you for the 5 memberships. Thank you, Susan. That's very kind of you. Hold on a second. All right, I'm not sure who got them, but I'm sure we'll see here in a second. Thank you, Susan. All right, so I'm trying to pull up my chat. It's just so weird. It won't pull up on my phone for some reason. All right, so let me just check out. All right, 5 gift memberships. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Susan. I see that. That's what I thought, but I see the big banner thing now. Thank you. Just yeah. No, they said that the logs, the rough interior logs are great because when Ray wants to wipe his hand, he could just wipe his hands on the logs and it won't matter. Like, wait, what? Okay, here's the people that received the membership. Thank you. There's the people right there. I didn't know it showed that. Thank you. Welcome new members, and thank you, Susan from Grace. Is shaking the beautiful one. Okay, yeah, it is. Those tables are good, and they're like I said. You can go on Facebook Marketplace. People around here make them, and yeah, they're really high buck. And he couldn't hold his laugh back when he mentioned the furniture. Yeah, and showed the business exactly, Aquatech. So good catch. Because remember when he pulled out, and I've made extensive videos on this Amish thing already. But when he pulled out that business card, they both laughed. It was their own little private joke. They tried not to, but they did laugh. And look, they build furniture, you guys. Okay. It's probably down the road from the cheese place, you know what I mean? Oh, hey, let's just go in there. We'll pretend that we made a deal with the Amish. Where was the receipt for the $500 down they gave the Amish for? Okay, we're gonna hear him talk about that. Now the story is, guess what the story is now? Now, just to show how serious they were, Robert Mass wrote a $500 check, and he for money down on the Amish house because they were going to pray on it, and then now he says, but we ripped up the check. Yeah, that's the new little nugget he put in there. Now he's saying that they ripped up the check. Well, hey Donna, good to see you tonight. Welcome, Aquatech, Donna. Anybody else that came in that I didn't see? Welcome. Marshmallow, great. Now I'll have dreams about Ed Gein, except with Eric's face and darn bugs flying around. Yeah, do you guys remember that story about Ed Gein turning people into lampshades? Yeah. Yep. Well, hey Jenny, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Yeah. So somebody made a. Yeah. Yeah, he can't STF you, can he? All right. So now I'm going to, let's see, I'm actually going to pull up Dad Talk. Wait here. Let me just pull up my history here because I had it up earlier. And I can't really, oh, by the way, before I even do that, I'm going to show you one more thing. So in this, I knew about this back in the fall, and I did show, but I want to show it again. That the things that they talked about, do you remember they were acting like they were all excited that they got to, okay, and this story didn't make sense. The first story didn't make sense, and I poked holes in the story, and now they changed it. But the first story was that they went to I could do an hour-long video. I should do it because I'd have to pull up a bunch of things. But the first story was that they figured they would start by looking for a bishop in Parisburg, and then they would go from there. But we're going to show you. So then they talked about the furniture, how beautiful the furniture was. Yeah, we just saw it. It was probably a furniture factory. But here, there's a thing on Amish 365. Amish. Anyway, and this is a site that shows a peek inside an Amish bishop's house. Now, everything that Eric and Mark described is actually in this article right here. So they didn't even have to go to the bishop's house because everything that they talked about is in this article. I could read this article and pretend, if I was one of them, I could read this article and pretend that I went there. Oh yeah, we were in the kitchen that had shiny floors, and I'm gonna show you real quick. And yeah, a really cool kitchen and logs on the ceiling. This is the house that they said that they went to. Now this actually is Sam Chupp's house. Now this is the house that Eric and Mark said that Mark, Eric, and Robert all went to visit. Now, why in the hell would this Amish guy even allow an exiled Amish person to step foot on his property? Hell no. Hell to the no. Okay, it's like somebody who leaves Scientology. Do you think that ex-Scientologist is going to come back and just want to make deals, big $1 million deals, business deals, and invite this person into your house? Nope. If you know how the Amish work, it doesn't work like that at all. Once you're exiled, you're done. And if you don't take your family members with you, then bye-bye, because they don't. You're cut off from everybody. So this says, and this was published in 2012, updated in 2024. A peek inside an Amish bishop's house. Inside an Amish bishop's house. When I was in Parisburg, Virginia, this is where they went. Last week, I had the occasion to visit with the settlement's bishop, Mr. Sam Chupp. There's his name right here. And it sounds like the West Virginia State Police may have spoken to this man. Some Amish bishops rule their churches with an iron fist, while others are more accommodating and conciliatory. Chupp falls in the latter category. We try to discuss everything here. We have no secrets. We do everything together as a group, Chupp explained. At age 60, he and his sons run a construction and carpentry business and an aviary which supplies exotic birds to zoos. Now, I find this interesting because they run a carpentry business. Was that the little thing that we saw on, the coffee tables? I don't know. But we saw nothing of any deals being made or any discussion at all about building a log house. We don't see anything more than somebody on a vacation and posting their tours they went on. At age 60, he and his sons run a construction and carpentry business and an aviary which supplies exotic birds to zoos. Sam Chupp is a well-read man with a well-stocked library of books of all kinds in his study. Many of the homes in Parisburg community are either made of log or are by, and in some cases, tri-level homes. Take a look at Sam Chupp's spacious kitchen. Now, this is what on that Friday when they're flying high and they basically told everybody the deal's off. First, then Friday morning, the deal is on. Friday evening, the deal's off because the tweaky fingers. Inside the bishop's house, so you got I like this. Personally, I like this because I cook a lot and anyway, I like that. It might make me something like that. Now listen, because this is what they talked about. Remember, if you guys remember when that Friday on September 5th, when they were describing their tour, because they said that they were. The story was that Eric and Robert and Mark went to Parisburg, and they went to that market, that food market, the Amish market, and they went in there and they took a few steps back and let Robert Mass do his magic, right? And so Robert Mass took the reins and he just took over. And he started talking with the Amish people, okay, because they connected, right? As a Amish and an ex-Amish, oh, okay, yeah, real connection there. Anyway, so he said they stood back and because Robert knows what he's doing. He used to be Amish. So Robert and the people are talking, and he starts speaking, and he says Pennsylvania Dutch, which is, a type of German language that a lot of the Amish use in Mennonites or whatever. So he says, yeah, they started speaking in Pennsylvania Dutch to each other. Then Robert bought this big block of cheese, and he puts his hands out like it's, I don't know, like 2 feet long, like a 40-pound chunk. So he bought the cheese, and we thought, oh, he knows what he's doing, because they're speaking German, this Pennsylvania, this secret code language. Then he buys the big block of cheese. Mind you, Robert Mast is, I don't know, 80 years old. He leaves his house in Idaho, flies into North Carolina. Then he has to go to West Virginia with Eric, and then he's got it. Then they go down to Virginia to the Amish, and then they go back to West Virginia, and then he goes back on the plane and all that. So Robert had a real busy weekend, right? So a very busy week. So, but Robert, he left his wife at home, who's also probably in her 80s, and the wife had a freshly broken hip with titanium plates and everything. And so Robert thought it was so important that he just left her and hopped on a plane and did all this Whittaker Amish nonsense. So anyway, so after the deal with the cheese, all of a sudden now there's some part missing in the story, but all of a sudden they said, oh, okay, we're going to get you in touch with the bishop, okay, because he makes all the decisions. And that was the point, is to have Robert sniff out the bishop, have him, like a bloodhound. He's got to sniff out the bishop, find out. So he found the bishop. Next thing we know, the bishop is riding in Eric's car. Now, I don't know why the bishop would be riding in Eric's car, but he says the bishop was riding in the car. And the bishop, he'll never hear this because they don't have internet or any electricity or nothing like that. So the Amish, the Amish bishop is riding in their car, and he's enjoying the air conditioner. And he said he didn't say it, but I bet he did. And he didn't have to carry those groceries. Now, wait a minute. How did the Amish bishop even get to the grocery store or to the market? None of it made sense. Like, why is he riding in your car? Like, if anything, he would have rode a horse and buggy down there. But why is he in your car? Like, how did he even get there? And why does he need a ride home? Okay, so all of a sudden, bishop's riding. This is like a weird dream. You know what I mean? I don't know, for some reason, the bishop's in my car. But now the bishop's in the car, and they're riding back to the bishop's house. And so we're supposed to believe that the bishop was so impressed with these, the cheese purchase and the German Dutch and all this, that he brought them back to his house. Now, I believe that they just read this article because I could pretend I was there too by reading this article. So he's got stuff hanging. He's got the kitchen. Now, remember, in that story on that Friday the 5th, when they called off the deal and they're partying high as kite, they were saying that, oh, man, in the kitchen, you guys, you know how they keep the food cold? Remember this story? He said they kept the food cold by running water through a spring or something. It runs through the house, and they like seal the food up, and then the water keeps the food. It's like a refrigerator, except with water. But listen, you didn't have to be there to learn about that because here it is. And then note the chilling bath, okay? Because this is what they described, like they had been there, which keeps the food and drink cool. The Chups channeled an ice cold mountain spring directly into their house, so any foods that need to be kept cool will be put in sealed containers and then stored in the cold bath. Isn't that stonework genius? While the home picture below isn't made of log, it's sturdy, spacious, tri-level. Okay, so right there, anything that they learned, um, anything that they learned and they told us about came off of this article right here. So, I mean, remember that? Oh, the furniture. What did we hear about his trip? We heard about the furniture. We heard about the baked goods in the store. And we heard about the his house with beautiful floors and running water through their house to keep the food cold. Like, okay, we just saw that too, and I didn't even have to leave this chair. Okay, so let's pull up. One second. I'm going to pull up the last time they talked about this. Now, this was when, oh God, what was it? Probably in March or April. I'll look. But it was a few months back. The first time Eric came with his friends to tell his side of the story, right? Break his silence, as he says. Which is hard to break somebody's silence if they never shut up, you know what I mean? All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I doubt they're going to. Mattis Hatter. You bought yourself a membership because Susan didn't get you one? Yeah. I feel pretty confident what I was told. Eric went to the emergency room and showed his ass acting up. No, he was not allowed to see them. Can you talk to Kenny after? Interesting. I don't think you missed a lot. We haven't even gotten into the clips yet. Eric Carol's family. All right. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure the protection orders against Eric went out the same day. The three of them were taking. Kenny's very smart and he's very emotional. He knows how to answer questions. Huh. Yeah, and the potato chips, yep. All right, so let's I'm gonna pull up this one. And it's called Mark Escobar Speaks About What He Witnessed in Odd West Virginia. Now this is where he like unleashes on West Virginia, but I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. We could go through the first part tomorrow or whenever. But the part I particularly want to go through is the Amish because they've changed the story a little bit. And what I could do is probably get the clips sometime and make probably a video showing the two versions. But this second version is, I think it's more of a reaction to the investigation because the first time they told this Amish story, it was nilly-willy. They could say whatever they want. Number one, they think everybody's dumb. And number two, the Amish people ain't never going to see it. They're never going to see it. So they don't have to worry about them seeing it and saying, hey, that didn't happen. All right, so let me pull this up. Now, I think it is at about 30 minutes. And so we can watch the first part of this some other time. But But at about 30 minutes, they started talking about this Amish thing. Now, it was interesting. I don't really, we're already an hour into it, and I don't really have time to go through the whole thing. We could go through the first half of this tomorrow, because what they're doing now, when was this? 2 months ago, and that was May 14th. So in the middle of May, they're already kind of trying to, it seems like they're trying to get their story straight. And they're trying to justify why they had to go to the Amish. They're trying to justify why did Mark Douche have to go, and why did Robert Mass have to go. And I think it's in a reaction to the fact that, in their own words, that the police investigators don't believe their Amish story. All right, so we're gonna listen to this. Now, I think it's coming up tomorrow. One of my dogs is snoring. Let's see what we got here.
One thing that guy said earlier, he was like, you should have known he was a POS, before you got up there.
No, they're just getting done talking about Patrick, crapping on Patrick. This whole thing, it was interesting in hindsight. The whole thing so far is just trying to discredit the Whittakers, Betty, Larry, and Patrick. And so that's basically what the whole thing, the whole first part of this video is about. All right, these kittens are making me really annoyed. Hold on a second. Yeah, you guys gotta go. The one ain't bad because it's just sitting there, but the other one wants to come and go like it's Grand Central Station. Get out of here. All right. So let's get the part. We're coming up on the part.
She's like, no, dude. I sat back for a couple months and watched the videos just like everybody else. I had no idea until I got up there and more of this stuff kept going. And by that time, I had already seen enough and know stuff and had made a relationship with people. And I wasn't about to leave them in that situation. I'm not doing it.
That's like saying you should, when you went up to meet with, Kim in Maryland, or you went to do the Sophia story in Colorado, or you went to Idaho, like we're supposed to know the culture and what people are like. No, we go into new environments all the time and we learn as we go.
And this is just weird.
I want to make a really important clarification. That is not a representation.
They go into environments and do this stuff all the time. Really, they go into environments and rip these families apart. And you know what he called it? Mark Douche called it. He says, we do this all the time. We deal with families and adult protection all the time. Well, that's funny because your friend over here is pretending he never heard adult protection in his life. But according to Mark, they do this all the time. They've been in multiple states. They dealt with adult protection. One of the agencies, adult protection, in some states killed his friend's husband and all this nonsense. But yeah, so that's what he's talking about. We do this all the time. And we learn as we go. We do this all the time.
He said something, and I want to make a really important clarification. That is not a representation of everyone in that area. It is a specific type that I did see, yeah, and more than a few, yes, but there was amazing people there. The ones that had to clean this up, amazing people. I felt so sorry for her. She was.
By the way, they just got done covering the Airbnb photos where he's trying to tell everybody that so anyway, they're about to bring up the Amish bishop for the story. But yeah, so that's what they're talking about. They just got done talking about the woman who had to bring a frying pan out to the dumpster was almost in tears.
That had to clean this up, amazing people that I felt
amazing people that clean the Airbnb.
sorry for. She was in tears, guys.
She was in
When
tears.
she had to go in there and see that.
She was in tears.
Yes.
Now, according to Patrick's friend, that he up on the panel, Patrick's friend said he called the Airbnb. If you believe it, his friend, the security guard guy, said that he called the Airbnb owner. I forgot his name, Jeff or whatever the guy was. And he asked, was your wife in tears cleaning it? And he said, no, the guy laughed and said it never happened. So I don't know. Somebody's lying, okay? But they could be both lying. But yeah, so she was in tears because she had to clean.
It's just not right. It's just not right. If you're okay doing that, you need to just stay at home. If that's the way you treat other people's places. Anyway, Mark, I'm trying to think. All right, so when we got you, Mr.
Here we go. Mr. Mast from North Carolina. Here's where it starts. Here's where Robert Mast comes into this picture. Now, mind you, now they're under investigation. They have to be a little bit more careful about this story because, as we heard, the police investigators don't believe the Amish story. So they're trying to like get their story straight, and actually they end up getting annoyed with each other.
Mass.
Okay,
North Carolina.
Mr. Mast. And now think about this. Robert Mast's own son builds log homes in Idaho, right? Or wherever he lives. But instead of just having his son do it, Robert Mast flies across the country to North Carolina to then go to, from North Carolina, like I said, to the odd West Virginia. And then from odd West Virginia, they all went down to Parisburg, Virginia. All this. And then, well, I'm just going to let you hear.
Came right back to the Airbnb and pretty much went to sleep that night. Next day,
Yeah.
we're off to the Amish. I think we've pretty much told people what went on there. There's nothing different on that.
Yes. You notice how they want to gloss over this Amish story. We pretty much told everybody nothing's changed on that. But okay, that means that something has changed.
I think we've pretty much told people what went on.
No, you showed us that a business card from somebody who makes coffee tables.
On there. There's nothing different on that. So let's go to that next day because that's when everything falls apart. We've been to the Amish. They've already agreed. So now.
No, they didn't. And by the way, he even said that Robert Mast said, we've heard it 100 times. Robert Mast said, so supposedly they met with the bishop and they pitched their idea and how they were going to take care of all the money and all that stuff. And apparently, he says that the bishop said, well, we're going to pray on this. We're going to pray on this. And then when they leave, Robert Mast says, well, that's code word for we're going to do it for sure. No, it isn't. For one thing, if there ever was a meeting, if somebody tells me, I'll say, hey, I want to buy that car. I've got 10 grand. I'll buy it right now. Now, if somebody tells me I'm going to think on it overnight, I'm going to pray on it, I don't go home and announce to everybody, you guys, I got a car. No, they said they're going to pray on it. All right, well, no matter what it is, somebody tells you they need time to think about it, they're going to pray on it. Doesn't mean that you can go announce to the world. You could start sending money, you guys. I got a car. No. And as a matter of fact, if this even did happen, it would, to me, it would be more of an indication that they're going to say no, because maybe they don't want to say no in front of these guys, right? They're like, oh, because if they're thinking to themselves, well, I don't want no part of this thing, and there's a fundraiser and a what? Yeah, and it's another state or whatever. So if there was a meeting and they wanted to say no, the easiest thing to get out of it would say, well, let us think about it. And then tomorrow they can give them a call and say, yeah, we've decided not to do it. You know what I mean? So there's no way that they can say, think they're going to pray on it means that they can. And then they did. They went back and within an hour, they announced to the world that the Amish agreed. You saw the post. The Amish agreed to build the home. No, they didn't. They said they're going to, if you believe the story, the story goes that they're going to pray on it. All right. Because if they were excited about it and thought it was a good deal and everything, they'd say, oh, hell yeah, we'll do it. Without saying the hell part. All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
We've got 3 days ahead of time, permits, surveying, and all this other
Permits.
stuff we were going after. Talk about your recollection of those days. And I mean, some of that, again, I think you've been through. So maybe we'll go try to get to some of the parts and stuff that you haven't been able to let people.
Exactly, Susan. Do you know how many times I told people, let me think about it? In fact, a lot of times when people would call up and pitch a job to me, I think to myself, I'd tell them, yeah, let me check on some things and I'll get back. It's just your way to get out of it and tell them no later, right? Yeah. Yeah, you don't need these people from Virginia, do you?
Because I appreciate you for knowing the things that you did, and you stayed silent on my behalf because of what we were being
Because of the investigation.
and told and what we witnessed.
Yeah, well, we've discussed we came back from the Amish on a high.
Did I not say they looked high as a kite? They came back with Amish on a high. They were like, that's even what I said.
We came back from the Amish on a high. We were already searching for, compliance and codes, county permits, survey. I sent you a couple of those screenshots. I think it was yesterday, with date and time.
Tumbling number one with no straw.
Everyone's like, oh, you were doing this and you were doing that. No, you weren't, because we checked on you, and it's like, okay, just go talk to the people in the office. We spent hours with every single one of them. In fact, the bailiff, we got lost on one of the excursions. The bailiff at the court goes, no, I'm waiting for you down there. The county permitting is down on the left, and we went by it like 3 times. That lady was really nice, and she's the one who gave us the names of the survey people. So it's like, you don't have to.
Okay, so that's nothing. I could go down to my courthouse and ask those people. We got a name of a survey guy. Okay, it means nothing.
You live there. Go talk to them. Say, hey, did they come in on this Friday and get the permit applications, and then go to survey, and then go to codes, spend hours there, and get told there's, go look up top the property because they're in a flood zone. We've already given them all that. The one thing they don't know is our first meeting with APS.
Okay. Now they're spilling the beans that they were dealing with APS for probably 2 weeks before it all fell apart.
And
we never heard about Mark going to APS with Eric, did we?
Not my first, but your first being.
That's why I said our, meaning me and you meeting them. So I went into it jaded because I've dealt with APS before in Georgia and Florida. And I don't trust them. My victim's name is Becky Harbor. They murdered her husband. APS did. They put him in guardianship.
You're not talking about APS in West Virginia.
I'm talking about APS in Georgia, and I'm telling APS in West Virginia, I don't trust.
Now, these two have been close friends for years, right? So if Mark is doing all this all over in these different states, United States, dealing with adult protection, how is it Eric's never heard of adult protection? This makes no sense. If my best friend is dealing with adult protection all over the place, and I talk to him every day, why would I not know what adult protection is? But I told you, that was Eric's way to distance himself from that first phone call that went to have APS check on Patrick's house. And what did he say? I didn't even know what that means. Well, I don't know what APS means. Right, and he told you, now they're saying they've been working with APS for years.
That's just as far as I can throw you, because you.
And why would you bring and actually watch Eric, because Eric gets very uncomfortable. Because Mark tells you the very first time they walked in and talked to adult protection, they actually met them at this coffee shop, and it was a new coffee shop that just opened up last year. It was some kind of coffee shop, but they had like a little conference room. So they met adult protection at this. I even looked up the place. I know where it is. But there's, anyway, a fun little coffee shop, you know what I mean? But anyway, they had this room, and then so they met there, and Mark and Eric. Now, Eric had already been working with adult protection for a week or two at least, minimum. I believe he's working with them all summer. But so Mark shows up on the 3rd, Wednesday, the 3rd of September, to do this Amish thing. Now, we didn't hear anything about them going to adult protection, did we? But here he says when first day I showed up, we went down there, and that's when they met in that coffee shop. And the first thing out of Mark's mouth is, here, watch. The first thing out of his mouth, he told adult protection, is that, hey, you murdered my friend's husband. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. But I tell you what, if you let us adopt Timmy or whatever, if you make this right with us, which means hand Timmy over to Eric. If you make this right, we're going to call it even, even for killing their friend. Okay, now listen. So I've dealt with APS before in Georgia and Florida. So, okay, he lives in California, but he has dealt with APS before in Georgia and Florida. Like this is what he does for a living or something. But somehow Eric's never heard of him. Go ahead.
I've
Now
done
listen.
APS before in Georgia and Florida, and
Eric's shaking his head. Yes, yeah, he knows all about it. That's probably where he learned about it, him and his mom.
in Georgia and Florida, and I don't trust him. My victim's name is Becky. They murdered her husband. APS did. They put him in guardianship.
You're not talking about APS in West Virginia.
I'm talking about APS in Georgia, and I'm telling APS in West Virginia,
Listen.
I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
This is the first meeting. That's the first thing he says. And watch how uncomfortable Eric gets, because maybe it's dawning on him, hey, maybe that's why they didn't let me get Timmy. Right?
Georgia, and I'm telling APS in West Virginia, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, because you killed one of my advocates' husbands in Georgia.
You killed him.
39-year marriage, and you came in and you drugged him, had softball-sized sores on his body, and you drugged him so much you killed him.
And this is where you decided to bring the Whittakers to. And actually, you know what Mark calls it? He calls it snatch and place. Or is that what he called it? Anyway, you'll hear. So he's been doing this. And they're so horrible. This is the first time that they're talking with them. And as a matter of fact, this is before the Whittakers were taken away. Before the Whittakers, the 3 were extracted. This is before that. So this is who they've decided that adult protection, they've decided that the 3 Whittakers should go into these monsters' hands. These monsters that already killed his friend's husband. And the monsters that he doesn't trust any more than he could throw them. Yet he's going to help these people, these monsters that he's talking about, that he doesn't trust, that killed his friend. He's going to help them take the 3 Whittakers into custody. Now, how does that make any sense? This makes no sense. But he wants you to believe that he didn't like adult protection to begin with.
39-year marriage, and you came in and drugged him, had softball-sized sores on his body, and you drugged him so much you killed him. So that was the first words out of my mouth to APS. And then I said, if you can, redeem yourself with this situation, that'd be great.
So just give us Timmy and we will. What are you doing? That just fell out of the windowsill. So just hand over Timmy and we'll call it even, right? Now, if you redeem yourself with this situation, because remember, they want Timmy. They're trying to adopt Timmy, and there's some kind of holdup. So it says, if you, hand over Timmy, we'll call it even, Stephen, right?
are for you guys, but I'm telling you, everyone that I work with in every single state, we know what you guys did. And until you prove to me that you're not going to do what you did to Becky in Georgia, I'll wait for your actions to play out. So those were my first words to them when you and I met.
See, do you notice the look on Eric's face? I think it's dawning on him that where this might have gone wrong. And what did I say? He should never bring douche with him.
Becky in Georgia, I'll wait for
Watch Eric
to play out. So those were my first words.
First words.
When you and I met and went and met with them.
Insulted adult
Like,
protection.
No, we're going to do this, 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 and this. Here's the resources. Here's the paperwork. We've already given the adoption paperwork. I'm like, adoption paperwork. But
Okay. So they don't get their story straight. Do you see how he's screwing up? Look at the look on his face. Mark is screwing up this story. He's screwing up the story. Adoption papers, we don't know nothing about adoption papers. Now that doesn't line up with Eric's story of wanting to adopt Timmy all summer and having the papers a week before. So Eric knows damn well his story is not making sense. It's not lining up with her. So adoption papers, we don't know nothing about it. You see how disappointed Eric is over there? He's probably dawning on him. Oh, damn.
Already given the adoption paper, and I'm like, adoption paper.
We're just trying to build a house.
Just trying to build him a home.
Yeah, that's what you do.
We were there to build a home. APS is like, no, Eric, we want you to adopt all of them. So
adopt all of them.
Again, back to the red flags like I saw with Patrick and BJ's son and Larry. Now those spidey senses are going up with APS. And
so at the beginning of this, the first half of this live stream, they went over how crooked Betty is, how crooked Larry is, how crooked Patrick is, and now they're telling you how crooked the adult protection is. Everybody's fault but theirs.
I've only been there a couple of days. So the lies, basically, because you give someone some false information, that's a lie. Oh, we want you to do this, we want you to help you with this, we'll help you with that. The courts are saying this, the courts are saying that. No, it was just all lies by APS. And me, knowing what they do, I'm like, they just want that money. Not the money that people think about through the contract. I'm talking Title IV money. And for people who don't know about Garth.
All right. It's all about the money. But anyway, see, Eric's a little nervous. This ain't going on.
Title IV and your state tax dollars, go look it up.
Brief synopsis without naming amounts.
Here you go. This is so funny. Brief synopsis without naming the amounts. And does he name amounts? Oh, yeah. He's going to start naming all the amounts. Look at, he just said brief synopsis without naming amounts. And what does he do? Names amounts.
So APS and CPS are the same. CPS just snags your kids, which a lot of people in West Virginia are familiar with. And CPS gets between $4,000 to $8,000 per each snatch and placement into another.
Snatch and placement. $8,000 for each one. Now this is funny because he's reading off. He's rambling off how much adult protection gets to snatch and place humans, right? Like human trafficking almost. But he's naming off these exact amount. Eric just said without naming amounts. So he starts naming amounts, even though I told him not to. But anyway, this is funny because just 2 weeks earlier, Eric was the one naming the amounts. Remember? He did it on Dad Talk, and he did it on the Whittakers page, 2 different live streams. He told exactly how much he's going to have to take care of all of them. But now they're basically calling down protection crooks because they have also amounts that they need to snatch in place.
APS is the same thing, but then when you add on top of it any type of medical, your $4,000 to $8,000 placement sometimes goes up to between $10,000 $12,000, and that's a month. So if you have
I told you not to
adult that
name
just needs
prices.
medical attention, that needs guardianship, that needs
And he is.
24-hour care, that needs housing,
He's naming prices.
$10,000 a month that they get reimbursed for putting that person into guardianship. I know this because this is what I do all over the country and write legislation against. So when you have people with medical issues, maybe 15,000 a month, and if you've got 3 individuals, you're looking at 45,000 in a poor community.
And Eric's saying, I know that was supposed to be my 45,000 a month.
That's looking to up their county budget. And again, don't take my word for it.
Oh,
Now,
my
county
budget.
ask for the Title 4D and Title 4E. It's a line item on the county budget. You don't have to take my word for it. Just go look at how much money they get every year for guardianship, how much money under Title 4E, and how much Title 4D money they get through CPS. So again, that's what's going off in my head is why are they trying to force, we're just talking about building a home and getting people out of squalor and living in their own feces and urine. And they're talking about, no, adopt them. Take them to Georgia and do this and do that. And we're like,
okay, okay, he didn't get the
they just want
memo.
to build a home here on their own property.
All right. Let me get into the comments. I'm not sure if he's done talking about the Amish. You're right. Yeah, so nobody said anything about taking anything off the top on that contract. That's right. They should sue. Because I just saw a AI article about Eric Carroll and the case and all this stuff. And AI says that it was over $100,000 that was earned in those 3 months. Over 100,000. And then there was several months after that they took in money. Let me make sure I get this. Let me pull up to the part where he closes it. Okay, then they said he's saying that Eric was trying to do the right thing, but then Patrick wanted all the money to fix up his house, and then it all became about his house. Oops. And Eric's over there pounding, pounding drinks. Let's see. That is so funny. I'm going to show you something real quick. So he says, you know, yeah, I got to get this cat out of here. He says that, he says that, you know, you guys think Eric's just a idiot and he's so dumb. People are talking about, you just did this for money. You're just a con man. It was real easy to see. One thing I do want to address, because Eric is looking, no matter, even from his own friends, he said, yeah, you know, it doesn't look good. Eric's looking bad, but I want to show you something why he's not bad. Watch. It's really, here, one thing I want to address. All the people, 1 second. So he wants to show that Eric is not just a money hungry, you know, scammer. He's got other things going on.
It was real easy to see. One thing I do want to address is all the people that are talking about, oh, you just did this for the money, or you did this, did that. I'm going to bring up two things. Again, they can go look up, because they think, oh, you're just a podcaster. It's like, no.
No, he's not just a podcaster. He didn't just do this for money. And he's going to prove two things of why he didn't do this.
This is one of them.
One of them.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, look at that. Eric wrote a book about dads. Oh, number one, I don't know what justice he wants. But number two, anybody can write a book. These days, it's really nothing to it. You can write a book, and then the major cities all have binderies, okay? And so you can go to the bindery and have them print it up and put it into a book. And if you want, you can sell them on Amazon and stuff. You know how many YouTubers have written books? I know several YouTubers have written books. In fact, Toddy, One Skip, has written at least one book. I think she's got 2 or 3. Anybody can write a book, okay? But this is why Eric's not a scammer, because he wrote a book about dads. Okay, that might actually backfire and prove he is a scammer, because he didn't seek justice for being a dad. But anyway, but that's one thing, okay? He wrote a book, so it's not just anybody, you guys.
This is one of them. I don't know if you can see it.
He's not a scammer.
You write books, so you're not just a podcaster. And this
Okay, he's not just a podcast guy. He's wrote a book.
Protect dads.
Mm-hmm. This is to protect dads.
And
protect dads from ever seeing their kids again. Go ahead. What?
How many times have we worked with Dr. Farrell?
Oh, and look. And he's worked with a guy who wrote a book. So not only did Eric write a book, but he knows a guy who wrote a book. Those are the two things that you should just let your guard down and say, you know what? I guess Eric's not a scammer. He's not in it for the money. And you can see this is not helping Eric's case. Does he look excited like he just got vindicated? No, it looks like he knows his friend has just made things even worse. Made him look even dumber.
In his book, In the Boy Crisis, and traveled all over the country with Dr. Farrell. So anyone that thinks, oh, you're just in it for the money, now go look at our track record. You guys in West Virginia may not have heard of us, but our track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, Eric probably doesn't want you to bring up his track record. I don't know about yours, Mark, but yeah, so that right there should clear Eric. If you have any doubt about him, he wrote a book and he knows somebody that wrote a book. So right there, you should just drop all your suspicions. Yeah, he wrote a book about dads, yes. So you can't try holding him accountable for anything, you guys. He wrote a book. I can't remember. I know Toddy told me that she wrote a book, at least one. Zach Hubbard from the Numerology Channel. I think he's on his 5th or 6th book now. You know, and they're all on Amazon. It's not like, wow, like a Nobel Peace Prize winner or something.
I mean, at one point, people were sending me snapshots of like people that made groups, Team Eric and Team Patrick and stuff like that. It was ridiculous.
All right. Promoting books now. Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, oh God, he's promoting his book. Yeah, he's probably trying to sell a book. But all right, and then we're gonna watch the part where he loses it. And I probably would go over his first, like I said, I could make a video going over his first story and his second story about the Amish, and it's changed. You know, now, you know, Mark's trying to, instead of being the cameraman, and I don't know if cameraman is code for something, because Eric always needs, you know, somebody to come with and hold his camera. I'm not sure if that's like some code. I don't even know what that means, but he went from holding Eric's camera to project manager, because I think that Mark's probably might be feeling a little heat too, because Mark ended up going down to the court and testifying. They didn't say exactly what it was about, but they went to West Virginia just as of, they said a few weeks ago, so that must have been in March or April. They had to go back to West Virginia, unrepresented or whatever he said, and testify. Anyway, so Mark has even been in the court hearings, and he might be getting a little bit nervous too. Track record speaks for itself. Yeah, Eric doesn't want you bringing up his.
When the narratives got out there, I mean, at one point, we're sending me snapshots of like people that made groups, Team Eric and Team Patrick, stuff like that. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I mean, they said they knew this was going to happen and was going to, make sure to put stuff out there, and they didn't. Like everything, I feel like I was told ended up being one big lie. Oh, we haven't talked about, I told
Hey, Nazarene.
the other night, but what about Universal Studios, Mark?
Yeah. That's the only reason we stuck around is because APS just kept lying and pulling the rug out, lying and pulling the rug out. There was a donor in Florida that donated the trip. Again, I was going home, and then the donor, what's that?
It was tickets, 10 tickets.
Yeah, it was tickets to Universal Studios. So after the event, APS was like, yeah, next day. Yeah, next day.
The event is the extraction. What do you call it? The snatching place, where adult protection goes in and snatches the people, and they place them somewhere else for 10 grand a piece. So he says, yeah, after the snatching place, the next day they were pulling the rug out because they told Eric he could take Timmy home Monday, the day he went kicking and screaming into an ambulance. He's supposed to go home with Eric. But they said, no, today's not a good day. They came back Tuesday and they said, no, not a good day either. Wednesday, they said, no, you're not taking Timmy. You need to go home. We'll call you. And so that's what he's saying. Yeah, they're lying. Well, how does it feel to be lied to? Like the Whittakers were.
After the event, APS was like, yeah, next day. Yeah, next day. Yeah, next day. Yeah, next day. Just lie. But yeah, we were supposed to go to Universal Studios, and it was just lie after lie after lie. And then eventually we're like, we can't hang out here. We're on our own time up here away from our families. We got to go. It's either happening or it's not happening. And there was going to be an event at your place with your family, which we did, but a certain person was not allowed to come.
And here's where he got his last contact. The last contact, if I had the calendar, I could show you. Let me think. It would be 9. It would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it would probably be about the 15th. It'd be the 3rd week of September. Well, they told him to go home on September 10th. Wednesday, it said, no, Timmy's not going back with you. So you might as well go home. We'll call you. And then next Wednesday, which would have been the 17th, something like that, they actually let Timmy do a FaceTime call with Eric and his family to watch the fireworks in their compound, in their yard. So that's what he's talking about. And after that, because at that point they had spent time with Timmy, and I'm sure Timmy said, I don't want to go with him. It's just my opinion, but I think after Timmy's 911 call, I think Eric got spooked, yeah. And that's probably why he wanted to hurry up and get him to his house.
Not allowed to come. And that was, again, just more lies.
And then they told him that a certain person, Timmy, was not allowed to come. Certain person, Timmy, was not allowed to come home.
What did we end up doing instead?
Well, we did the fireworks show ourselves, barbecued, and had a family get together, and then that person was allowed to.
And do you see how selfish this is? Forget that the three Whittakers were just ripped out of the home that they've lived in since the day they were born. 46 years, 70 years, and 72 years, or whatever. For their whole life, Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine lived at their house. They just got basically violently ripped out of their home with no notification, nothing. Brought to emergency room, kicking and screaming in an ambulance. And all Eric can think of is, but I had fireworks planned. We were going to go to Universal Studios. Give me Timmy. And they're like, no, you're not getting Timmy. Well, what about our tickets? I mean, you know how selfish that is? All he could think about was how this is screwing up his plans to take Timmy home. When they're all traumatized at this point.
Skype with us and watch the event.
So they let Timmy Skype with them to watch the event, which is the fireworks. And the fireworks were in their yard. Give me a break. Sparklers and snakes,
Be
probably.
there in person. I mean, I could go in depth more of what was going
And
on.
it's so unfair to these guys that they didn't get to bring Timmy home. The fireworks and everything.
On in that hotel as well, but I'll leave that alone. One thing I do want to touch on is all the people that have been disrespectful to the Amish.
Here we go. I want to touch on all the people that have been disrespectful to the Amish and John Mass, because the police investigators talked to these two, and the police investigators did not believe their Amish story. And I hope my videos help that. But they're not buying their bullshit Amish story. They're not buying none of their bullshit. That's what he said. The people who have been disrespectful.
To the Amish and John Mass. Again, all you people in West Virginia, you live there. I haven't seen you guys do anything in 40 years for this family. And then when 3 out-of-towners show up.
They have no idea what West Virginia has done in 40 years with the Whittakers. Imagine they've got services like everybody else did, you know what I mean? So yeah, they've done nothing in 40 years. Look at, does he look like he's happy with Mark's performance here? It doesn't look like it at all. Yeah, so they're victims. They didn't get their way. They didn't get to just snatch and grab somebody off their porch and bring them to another state like some type of human trafficking story. But they had fireworks, damn it.
For this family. And then when 3 out-of-towners show up to do the right thing.
3 out-of-towners. He's talking about, obviously, Mark, Eric, and Robert Mast.
Their integrity. I'll tell you right now, West Virginia, you can kiss my ass. All of you.
All of you.
It wasn't all of West Virginia. I understand.
The Airbnb guy, you liked him.
I understand.
Oh, and the free pizza, you like that.
I'm going to the people that have questioned my integrity.
Okay.
From the court to APS, to anyone that's got on, you can all kiss my ass. And
Kiss his ass.
Ask why I was out there. Question me. I don't see any of you. I've seen some of you question me.
Oh, okay. He says, why don't you question me? And he said, some of you did. Don't question me. Kiss my ass.
Why don't you look at my background, see what I did? And
what did he do?
I'm pissed off about that. When you go after your family, when you go after Mr. Mass, that's off limits for me.
It's an investigation. That's what they do.
I don't care who you are in West Virginia. Mr. Mass came out, got us in contact with the Amish. I don't care if you believe that or not.
You got that? That means they didn't buy their bullshit story about the Amish. I don't care if you don't believe it.
We were there. You've done nothing in 40 years. APS, you've done nothing in 40 years. The court system, you've done nothing in 40 years. You can all kiss my ass. Seriously. You're all full of shit, okay? I came out from California to fix your supposed family.
He came out from California to fix your family.
Why?
Why? Because there was money involved. Quit playing dumb, Eric.
Well, because we don't do this stuff and we haven't done this stuff everywhere.
I know.
So they've done this stuff everywhere. The snatch in place or whatever, the extractions and the adult protection. They've done this everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Why would
The
you
list
do
goes
that?
on and on. We literally just left John Mass murder trial. And
Who cares? I just left the store. What does that mean? What does that have to do with anything?
came here. Go look at what we did for the last 5 years for John Max. Like,
And what did you do?
I don't know. It irritates me when I hear a bunch of mouthpieces, you know, from West Virginia question your integrity, question my integrity. You don't even know us, man. And you live.
That's exactly why somebody needs to question your credibility. Because as you said, you're 3 people from out of state. 3 different men from 3 different states comes in. Nobody knows you. You're making tens of thousands of dollars off one of their residents who you seem to be exploiting and not paying them. And all this other nonsense. It says, you don't even know us, man. Why would you question our integrity? Well, isn't that their job? If you try getting involved with this family and the removal of them from their home, don't you think the first thing that they should do is question your integrity? And that was probably their biggest mistake, is that they didn't question Eric's integrity. The dog protection took Eric for his word for everything until the story unraveled. It was too late. Of course they're going to. Why wouldn't they question your integrity? He just said we're 3 guys from out of state. You don't even know us. Why would you question what we're doing? We're trying to take Timmy home. You got no right to question us, to ask questions. We saw somebody who's making us money, and we're going to grab him off his porch and bring him home. Why would you question that? Somebody who doesn't want to leave his porch.
Question your integrity, question my integrity.
Of course
You
they're
don't
going
even
to.
know us, man. And you live there. Like, I don't know. It'd be like someone from West Virginia coming out and going to Skid Row and asking me, well, what have you done here? It's like, we got Spencer Pratt running for mayor. We got Michael Gates running for AG.
What does that have to do with anything?
You know, the poor people in your community. I know what I'm doing in California, and I'm doing it in your state.
I do want to help.
This is too much. All right. Somebody in the chat, in his chat, says, I trust you both very much.
And put a spotlight on.
Yeah, I put a spotlight on it. Anyway, so as you can see, that's the part I wanted to show you where he was, yeah, they're very upset because West Virginia doesn't believe them. Doesn't believe their Amish story, doesn't believe none of it. And nor should they, you know? All right, I'm gonna get back in the chat. But like I said, we can, on a different live stream, I can pull up their old story and their new story, and it doesn't match. All right, let me get back in the chat and see your comments real quick. Eric should write a book, How to Ruin a Marriage. He should write a bunch of books. But not about how to try to get your kid, because that's ridiculous. Susan said, I've been thinking about the money. Yeah, they should sue him, but I believe without somebody helping the Whittakers, they're not going to sue anybody, because they almost need somebody like, and no offense to the Whittakers, but I think somebody almost needs them to lead them and hold their hand and, like, basically, you know, prompt them to do these things, because I don't think they're going to do any of this on their own. But yeah, they should sue them. Because like I said, according to that AI report, it was over $100,000. And what did they get? $250. $250 out of 100 grand. You know what I mean? And anyway. Let me get back in my chat again. All right, Katie's got some interesting stuff here. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, Timmy, I'm so sorry. Grandma's at my phone. Okay. Is he cooking? Okay. I want to read Katie here. The night Timmy dialed 911, believes something really scared him. Yes. And you know, Eric thinks Timmy's dumb. He thinks they're all dumb. And I mean, they might not be witty. They might not know how to protect themselves against somebody like him, but they can still hear things, right? So I think Eric was talking away on the phone, making plans, thinking Timmy's dumb and he can't hear nothing. And I think he probably heard about him making plans to bring him back to Georgia and all that stuff. Maybe he heard, about the family getting taken away. And, I actually made a video one time and I never posted it. I should post it. But because I changed my mind, the video was basically asking why hasn't Kenny or any of the Whittaker family step forward and say, hey, let's let's help Betty, let's help the Whittakers, especially Kenny, okay? Because Kenny seems like he kind of had his stuff together a little bit. He seemed he had his little shed there, and the shed was clean, and he had food in the cabinet and all that. He seemed like he was kind of functional, you know what I mean? Somewhat highly functional. And I was thinking, well, why doesn't Kenny do something? That's his Ray is his brother, Lorraine is his sister, and Timmy's his nephew. And you'd think that he would say, hey, I'm going to go down there and tell him, maybe at least Timmy can come live with me, or maybe my brother and sister, something. But why wouldn't Kenny step up? Well, Kenny, I don't think is highly as functional as we think. Now, I did learn that he claims to be illiterate, like he can't read and write. But here's the thing. We've all heard that, we just heard it tonight, that Eric was saying that he was at, and I don't know if it was on this one, or maybe I heard it earlier, but Eric was saying that he was, bringing the adult protection over to Betty's house. And he wanted them to see the conditions and stuff. And that's what got the family taken away. And he even said, once adult protection lays eyes on the inside of their house, it's over. And that's what happened. Eric invited them down to Patrick's first. And we heard it on the ring cam. They went up there, and then they all drove down to the Whittakers. And when they got out of the car, Eric said that Betty said, oh, I guess you're here to take my family away. All right. And then he was all mad because Betty didn't show up for an appointment for adult protection. That was the day. Now, that day, Eric wanted Betty to sign the papers for adopting Timmy, but she didn't want to. All of her family up the road there in the holler were telling her, Eric's trying to get your family taken away. And so Betty's, and I just listened to the story today where Eric said, Betty said, everybody's in my head. They're all telling me that you're trying to take my family away. And he said, no, that's a lie. I'm not trying to take your family away. And anyway, so he does show up there a few days before they got taken. He shows up to the Whittakers with adult protection, and adult protection goes right into the house, and they see the mess. Right now they got to do something because Eric brought them there. And I'll have to play it sometime, but Eric lied in the story. He said, you see, Eric, I think he forgot about the ring cam where we heard him talking to adult protection. Because Eric, what we heard with our own ears on that hot mic that he didn't know about, he was on video, and he called down to Mount Protection, and his exact words were something like, "Hey, not hey, this is Eric Carroll. I'm calling for Barbara." And it was, "Hey, it's me. Yeah, can you get down here? This is bullshit, and I just want you guys to tell Larry it's all bullshit." And they go, and he goes, "I'll buy you lunch and pay you for your gas." And I'm like, "Oh, we're on our way." Well, that was it. That was the day. Now his story is changed, and now he says that he called down there and said, "Is there anything that you guys can do?" And they said, "Well, we'd really like to come over," like it was all their idea. So his story is changing. It's lying, and his stories aren't even close to each other. But he did, and so for days before this happened, for I would say a week or two, yeah, the family in Hollywood were telling Betty and Larry, "Hey, Eric's trying to take your family away. He's trying to get you in trouble. He's calling down protection. He's calling the cops. He's doing all this stuff." So their family did warn them. I bet Jason probably warned him. I know Kenny did, because Kenny lives up the road and he's got Wi-Fi signal there, and Kenny's on Facebook. And so any of their communication is because Kenny runs down on his ATV and says, "Hey, this was on Facebook." In fact, the day they missed the restraining order, Kenny drove down his ATV and said, "Hey, it's all over Facebook that you guys missed the court date." Anyway, so that's why I think after the family was taken, I think that is why the family didn't help. They're probably all saying, "I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. We told you he's trying to take the family apart." And maybe that's why nobody stepped in and helped. Because, yeah, they did. They tried telling Betty. But they were getting the carrots dangled over their head. "Oh, you're not going to get the house. You're not going to get the money. You're not going to get anything. You got to do this." And it's just, "Betty, this is standing in the way of your house." Mm-hmm. Probably, so that's probably why nobody helped. Because they all tried telling them that Betty, what they should have done is just told Eric just to pack your crap and go home. Enough with the videos. They ain't got a penny anyway. It's been all summer and nobody's even gotten $1. Let's see. So anyway. All right. Oops. All right. I'm just going to try to find some of you guys' comments. All right. Timmy is working with a therapist. Oh, hey, Nazarene. So you woke up and you were here? How to Get Rid of Crotch Crickets? That could be a good book, huh? Anyway, Kate says, "Does it matter who you are if people get removed from their home? They're not allowed to give out any information. Eric should write a book on how to ruin a marriage or how to get rid of crotch crickets." Nazarene is on vacation. You ready to go home? Katie said, "This is just my opinion, but I think after Timmy called 911, I think Eric got spooked." Maddest Hatter said, "Katie, how do you know that Timmy is working with the therapist?" Did I miss that? Let's see. I'm going to go back as far as I can go back. Yeah. Katie said, "Yeah, you can have anybody build your Amish home. Yeah, it doesn't have to even be the Amish. I mean, a log home is a log home." Not sure the agreement. Eric said there'd be further fundraising for the house, but well, That story's changed like 100 times. But the problem is, not only were they in another state, but the Amish people they don't pull permits. They don't build anything up to code. And so you have to have, they said, well, we're going to get a contractor, a general contractor to oversee. Then why wouldn't you just get the general contractor to begin with? Okay, so you're going to get one company to go look over another company because they're incompetent, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Timmy is still working with a therapist, and people talk. Timmy had a lot to say. A couple of names come up, no BJ. Like what? Oh, Mark bought some California nose candy with him. Maybe. Maybe. Eric is such a liar. I heard him say he had never heard the word nuclear family. Right, yeah. Kitty, how do you know that? Susan says. You know, hitting that like button. Thank you for hitting the like button. That helps the channel. This Mark is an idiot. Georgia APS is not the same as West Virginia. Right, it's not even the same people. He's blaming them for killing somebody. First visit. Josh has the same backdrop room as Mindy from Rebecca's. Can you hear me now? Yeah. With the piano or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. One thing about Eric also, he has a difficult time keeping his mouth shut and don't allow anyone to speak. Yeah. They were trying to talk over each other. Yeah, not my monkeys. Papa green screen, too popular. Eric and his gummy friends. Eric is still singing that tune. So strange. I've been thinking about the money. Yeah, they need to sue him for the money. You know what I mean? Give the whatever. Really should sue the shit out of Eric. They should. Mark is stupid. They wanted to budget the money. They could have stepped in years ago. Exactly. Why would they wait till now until, you got some guy from out of town that wants to adopt him? It's just weird. CPS adult protection sucks. There has been so many lawsuits where the families are going back and suing CPS due to civil rights, people being taken away. It would have been picked or something. Oh my God, Eric wrote a book about dads. Yeah, I wrote the book on it. Doesn't matter who you are, if people get removed from their home, they're not allowed to give out information. Eric should write a book on how to ruin a marriage, that's right, or how to ruin a family. Or how to piss away, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars with nothing to show for it. That'd be a good one. Katie, how do you know Timmy is working with a therapist? Maybe APS was buying time to figure out what to do, thinking Eric would try to kidnap. Yeah, and then they're sick of trying to tell him every day, no, you're not getting him. I just lost my spot here. Back. Yeah. All right. How do you know he's working with the therapist? Maybe APS was buying time to figure out what to do, thinking Eric would try to kidnap them and pretend they just decided to move with him. Figured they do something now. Yeah, well, he's not getting nowhere near Timmy now. And it's so funny that they were so concerned with how much money they're going to make from the family when Eric had already calculated how much he was going to make. It's like he thinks we forgot. Hey, Red Frog, good to see you tonight. These guys make me want to reach out through the phone to ask, until I find the right ones, how they feel about Eric dragging them into conspiracy, just to see what they say about. Yeah, are you talking about the Amish? It's Sam Chupp in Parisburg. That's the bishop, if anybody wants to go home. Honestly, think Eric and his pals was denied Timmy going with Eric to Georgia. They seemed so desperate to take Timmy APS and screw this, call the state police. These people are body snatchers. That's what it seems like. It almost seems like, I mean, they were so desperate, and I guarantee Timmy said no. Think about that. Eric shows up, they're doing a few fun things, then it starts to get creepy. This man doesn't want to bring Timmy home. This man has got Timmy, plans to take Timmy from his family. It's getting scary. Imagine how scary it was for Timmy. He's hearing Eric in the other room talking about bringing him back to another state Timmy doesn't even know about. That's why I said they probably thought Eric is some desperate weirdo, like it is snatch, pretend, yeah. Yeah. Yep, weird. Yeah. Just the fact that you're so desperate to take somebody out of a family when they don't want to go. Okay, last time I'm going to ask, how the heck do you know this? As a matter of fact, it's got something to do with like trauma. And then after he paints or colors, they call it a class. Trauma from when? Childhood or from being with Eric? Huh. How do you know, Katie? I don't think Katie's Josh Tomlinson. She's pretending to be bowling with him, I think. Katie knows a lot more too. Well, spill the beans. Please do. I guess, Katie, if you can't say, yeah, people don't want to, they never want to show their sources. If you work there, Katie, then you should be fired. Prove I don't know. Well, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Yeah, it should be nice. That'd be nice. She seems to know everything about Timmy. Katie, sounds like you have no way to back up your claims. Why wouldn't you wouldn't be Eric's sister? They're not going to tell Eric or his family anything. That's for sure. It's not going to be a family member, Eric. But at this point, no. West Virginia wants nothing to do with Eric. It doesn't matter who in West Virginia. Nobody there wants anything to do with Eric or his family. Anyway. Let's see. Therapy is a good thing. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? I'm so glad to know that after Eric Carroll put Timmy in the family room, thank God something good is coming out of it. Put Timmy in the family room. I don't know what that means. Yeah, but I just don't think Eric, he's going to be the very last person that ever gets any information again. By now, months ago, I would say within a few days of the Whittakers being taken, I think within the first few days is when they realized that Eric lied to them about everything. Now what are they going to do? Put everybody back into the home? I don't know. I think that they were stuck. Nothing they could really do. Except keep them. No, you know what I mean? Let's see. I had one more clip. I'm looking for it. It was the part where he changed his story. Boy, it's really misspelled. I misspelled the the title big time. Anyway, so I do have more clips, but I think it would be better if I put them into a video at some point. Anyway, where are we at? 2:14. All right. Yeah, I think we should compare the two stories. But yeah, I think Eric is. I think it's obvious he's scared. He knows something's coming down the pike towards him. All right, let me get over here. Well, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Very kind. Let's see. Hold on a second. Sorry, I missed last night. Too late for me. Yeah, no, I get it. I imagine it is probably 6 a.m. over there right now. Maybe 7 a.m. I get that. Good to see you tonight. Up yours. Hope you had a great day, evening, whatever. But the majority of Eric Carroll. What is? Are you talking about the trauma? Is it trauma from Eric Carroll? Oops, dang it. This thing ain't doing good on the comments. Oh, I know I was poking because Eric is a storytelling liar and Katie is making tons of claims but can't seem to back it up. She must be related. You can't, you're ignorant. Kathy, do you remember several months ago I was the one that put in your comments about the essay claims Eric went on alive and made the same thing? Yeah, I do remember that, Katie, but about the essay claims Eric went on alive and made the same thing. Can you refresh my memory about that? Who is the essay claims against Eric? Timmy and the family? Is 5:50 a.m. there? Yeah, I thought you're 6 hours ahead of me. Hey James, good to see you tonight. Welcome. So the essay claims is with Timmy and the family? Or Timmy and Eric? Huh. I mean, we do know that things go on in certain families. And, I mean, because, okay, so they're kind of, they've been described as the inbred family, right? Inbred. But that inbreeding goes back to, I think it would be their grandpa or great-grandpa or something like that, and his brother. Generations back. But I'm just wondering about, is there claims against with Timmy and the family? Because, well, here's the thing. So there is a story that the Whittakers told, and it was a story about Ray going to SA somebody up the road. In fact, they pointed at the exact same spot that Lorraine got attacked at, okay? Because as they're sitting on the porch, Larry points to the left, and he says, when he's telling Mark about what happened to Lorraine, how she got pregnant, he goes, well, she went up that way. And, somebody got a hold of her down in the ditch over there, right up there. All right, so somebody got at Lorraine, whether it's a family member, whether it's Joe Bolin, whatever, somebody got to Lorraine, and she got essayed. That's a fact. Then you have Ray, who supposedly went up they're saying they pointed at the same spot right up there. Ray went up there and he essayed some lady. They heard her screaming, right? So she heard her screaming, and they went and they had to pull Ray off of the woman, right? Ray was having his way with her. And so there's another essay, right? And then you've got you've got two registered SOs, right? You've got Jason. He's a registered RSO, registered SO, and then you have John. He's also a registered SO. And so there's some weird things going on. I actually believe so. Yes. So who, Katie? Katie, can you like get more specific? Like Timmy and who? So if Timmy's in this therapy trying to overcome some trauma, who was the trauma with? Can you give us a clue? Because, like I said, there's all kinds of things that have already happened around them in the holler down there. And to be honest, I don't believe that Joe Bolin fathered Timmy. I just don't. I think it's very convenient that Joe Bolin is dead, and so you can try to pin it on a dead man. They know damn well they ain't gonna exhume his body and do a DNA. Timmy, when he was with Eric. All right. So was it Eric? Was it his friend? Was it this mystery guy that we never heard about? Was it Robert Mast? Who was it? These strange men? Yes, when Timmy was with Eric. All right. Yes, I was the one that first told about the protection order against Eric Carroll. Wait a minute. A protection order against Eric Carroll on whose behalf? Who put a protection order against Eric Carroll? Yes, when he was with Eric. So was Eric the alleged supposed perpetrator, or was it Eric's friends? Because I'm telling you, for him to put him into baby clothes and shave off all his hair, allegedly, but put him into baby clothes and put him into bed with you was freaking weird. And I don't care what anybody says. Would you let your handicapped family member, nonverbal handicap, would you be okay with somebody, a YouTuber from out of state, with his friends from all other states, go let your handicapped child go to a to a hotel with these strange men? I thought that was weird. And then would you be okay if they put him into would you be okay if they put him into bed with him? You know what I mean? And people say, "Oh, that's bad." Well, listen. Then Timmy didn't even know Eric. You know what I mean? We have a mosquito in here. And this person is apparently an employee somewhere or just making crap up. Proceed with caution. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I get it, Susan. Thank you. Yes, up yours is in a different country. That's right. Agreed, Susan. Not even a hint attempt to back it up. Timmy was calling 911. Yeah, he did. Well, and like I said, the weirdest thing about the 911 calls, there was how many? There was a lot. But the weird thing about the 911 calls is when the police showed up, they said, "Is there anybody in this house with you?" And Eric said, "No." He said, "No, sir." And they said, "Really?" There's nobody else in here because we've got all these calls from this number, blah, 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 blah. And then Eric goes, oh, well, yeah, I mean, there is somebody here. Like, why would you say no? Why would you say no? Man, I'm getting chewed by mosquitoes. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry? It's abuse? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people thought it was okay for Timmy to hop into bed with somebody he doesn't even know. We don't know Eric. Nobody knows. I mean, yeah, you saw him in the video. We don't know him. And even if you know him, dude, if that was my family member, I'd say, what in the hell are you doing in bed with Timmy? I'd say, man, this ain't going to look good. I don't care if you're just watching TV. It's not going to look good. And remember the time when Eric said, because these are all deleted now, but you guys might remember when Eric said, well, you guys, I made sure, because Patrick was laying under the covers with Timmy, and I made sure I was on top of the covers with Timmy. You guys remember that? Timmy called 911 when he got tired of Eric creepy activities. Yeah, right? Yeah. And then lied to the cops that he was there by himself. So did the 50 ask questions? The 50? Yep, I do. Donna says I do. Yeah. So did he ask 50 questions? So did the cop? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they thought. I would like to see the Hey Victoria, good to see you tonight, and Donna. I would like to see the body cam, right? I would love to hear the body cam footage, and I would also like to hear the 911 calls. And you know what I would love to hear is the 911 calls with one of the Whittakers telling us what is he saying. Because, you know, he's probably trying to talk. You know, Timmy's probably trying to talk to the 911 operator. And he's doing the best he can, but, you know what I mean? He can't really talk, you know what I mean? No, I'll be honest with you. I don't have all that information, but I'm very comfortable with the information I shared. All right, so you think, so whether anybody believes you or not, I'm still going to ask. So do you think that Eric is being investigated? Do you think Eric is being investigated with anything with Timmy? State of West Virginia in the hospital? Well, I don't know. And I didn't hear anything about Eric. I didn't hear anything about Eric having a restraining order against him. Is that what you said? Eric got a restraining order against him? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. As a matter of fact, I have run Eric's name multiple times through the West Virginia court system, and there's nothing with Eric in the court system in West Virginia. So, but you know what else is not in there? There's nothing in there about the restraining order, which I think is weird. I mean, let's see. Well, okay, if something was done, Eric should be charged. Well, because I'm just wondering why Timmy, at minimum, why Timmy, if not the others, were not returned home. Because, you know, if it's the matter of the house being messy, the county could have helped them. Could have helped them maybe get the house cleaned up or whatever, if that's the problem. But obviously there's other problems. And you say, well, they're not, you know, they're being exploited. Well, they're still being exploited. Pictures and videos are coming out of the Whittakers swimming in state custody. So the state's not stopping them from being exploited either, because there's fresh videos of them out. Now that I truly don't know all I know. Eric loves ruining families until it's his own, right? He needs to get a job. His wife's so dumb to let him pitter around peeing outside. Yeah, you like that? He likes to pee in his yard. I know what I was told. I feel so comfortable and confident giving me information that I put it out or I would not put it out. I get that. It appears you're looking bloody good this morning. Try. The information that I put out, I feel very confident. Well, Brian Cody certainly said that Betty was abusive when handling Freddie and Ray when they were younger. Well, I mean, you saw him in the barber shop, right? So Ray was in the barber shop. He did great when Mark brought him to the barber shop, but Eric tried to copy Mark and he brought him to the barber shop, right? And the barber was trying to, I don't know, Eric was sitting there standing next to Ray, making him nervous, trying to get in the video and all this stuff. And Ray got up and started kind of running away from the chair. And Betty got up and like almost tackled him. And she had to like chill him out and make him sit down and stuff. And then he chilled out. Now I remember because I said, "Get him, Betty." and she did. She had to like bear hug him to make him stop. So I can see sometimes maybe having to get physical with them because these guys are out of control. And as a matter of fact, they're, Freddie and Ray are very similar. They're very similar. And they said they've chilled out a lot now. So you can imagine when they were younger, I guess that Betty wants to have, if they want to all live at home, she had to probably, put hands on them once in a while because I saw her, she had to like grab Ray and have him sit down and chill him out. And Betty was really good. She calmed Ray down. She got him to sit down, had him calm down. She probably had to be rough to keep. Yeah, exactly. I think so. Bad info? Stupid APS. If they really cared about the family, they would help keep them together, not separating. Yeah, I think so too. Because I've seen all kinds of stories that like the family's got a messy house, or the family, I don't know, maybe there's abusive parent or whatever, but they always seem to like work with the family, like get rid of if somebody's abusive, get them out of there, and make them have to work their way back or whatever. And if the house is messy, they help them get it clean. I've seen that usually like child protection wants to keep the family together. And when there's restraining orders and stuff, I don't know. It just seems like they always try to make some solution to keep the family together. But this was like rip them apart and don't worry about it. Does anybody know if Betty left the state to be with other family? No, Italian girl. She still lives in the holler. I think she visits somebody out of state. In fact, I think she was visiting what's that lady's name? She met the lady through Mark, through the channel. I can't think of her name, but she does go out of state with her. But no, for the most part, Betty lives just down the road from where she used to. She lives up the road with her friend. But she still visits, from what I've heard, she still visits their property. Just imagine her dog's still there and stuff. All they needed to do was get them in a home with caregivers. They did not deserve to be separated. Yeah, I don't know what the big problem is, because these agencies do this every day. That's what they do. They if there's a problem, they go in, they try to help them fix it. You got no running water? Okay, maybe they're going to try to find a fund that will get your water turned back on or whatever. Whatever their deal is, you know what I mean? Even parents that have, because listen, even parents that have bad drug problems, because Brandon and his wife were on drugs really bad, and they took Brandon and his wife's children away, right? And so Brandon and his wife, and Brandon is BJ's son. So Brandon's children, BJ's grandchildren, were taken away. And Brandon and his wife did everything that they had to do to get those kids back. It took a while, but they got their kids back because they got off the drugs. I think they got on Suboxone, according to one of the Whittakers. They got whatever, but they cleaned up their act. Brandon got, I think, 1 or 2 jobs. He's working and working and working. And they had to jump through all the hoops, but now they got their kids back. You know what I mean? So even parents that are on drugs, they'll work with you, but you gotta walk toe the line. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man had a brief. Do I do honestly? Yes. Sorry. Let's see. If you're what is considered incompetent, then the doctor you see, a nurse, can be put out to protection order against somebody if you're considered incompetent. What happened to Eric telling us everything? Yeah, he ain't saying nothing. So just Larry and BJ live in the same house? Yeah, Larry and BJ live there. I think it's just them. And I think they're living in the house. I know during the winter, they were short on heating stuff, so they were both living in the house during the winter. She might be in the camper for the summer, I don't know, but I think it's more practical to live in the house in the winter. But Katie, why were they removed? I want to believe it would be difficult for the Whittakers to get the 3 back without protection, maybe waiting for them to make a legal move to get them back. I think so too, James, and they're just not going to do it, not without help and maybe an attorney or something. I'm wondering, did they even try to get them back? Because you have to be proactive. You know, I mean, are you saying that someone in the family was abusing them? That's why the state will keep them. That's why the state will house them, because then the state can turn around and receive money for housing. Well, that's what Mark Douche was trying to say. But I don't think that they're like short on people. They have to like, maybe. No, Susan, it was child neglect, not abuse. Oh, you mean neglect as in for the adults? Yeah. I heard it was a neglect, but I didn't see anything. I can't believe Eric really thought he was going to adopt Timmy. He didn't even know the family, and Timmy was fine right where he was. Exactly. It's just like pick going in somebody's house that you're doing a YouTube video. I mean, it's as ridiculous as what if, how would it be if that Tyler Oliveira would have just all of a sudden just wanted to adopt Timmy? Like everybody wouldn't even, but Eric had a way of, I don't know, manipulating people into thinking it was a good idea. Donna, but someone said there was something with SA that happened. Yeah, Brandon's kids, I guess, that's what I heard, that they got taken away because they were on drugs or something. And then Brandon and his wife did all kinds of things they did everything they were supposed to do, and they got their kids back. As a matter of fact, their kids were in a video. Or no, actually, it was on Facebook. Because the wife had to get up in the morning, I think, and give Brandon a ride to work or something like that. Anyway, with the kids and all that in the car. Let's see. the state considered their residents to be unfit for people with special needs. You mean their home? Yeah. Well, then why didn't they help them do something about it? Because I know they got funds for that. Well, definitely neglect, but I would think only for Ray with healthcare. Yeah. Depends on the payroll. Didn't this person, Katie, say something about essay with Timmy, and that's why he was removed? And none of that was known until he was removed. I think she was saying that it was essay with something with Eric. That's what I thought she said. I may be wrong. Or was removed, and that was found out after being. I think it was found out after being removed. Because I mean, it went from they're gonna adopt. They're helping Eric to adopt Timmy. To as soon as Timmy gets down in their possession, all of a sudden it's like, no, Eric, I don't think you're gonna take him. Yeah, I think Timmy did some talking. Yeah, or was removed. Yeah, but perhaps the state should have gotten them apartment. Yeah, exactly. That's what they do to everybody else. You know what I mean? Well, whatever it is, Eric is clearly super nervous about something. Yeah, he is. He's a nervous wreck. If I'm talking about Spout, you mean my dog Sprout? My dog's name is Sprout. Are you talking about him? I'm talking about Spout. I don't even know what that means. No, I never said he was removed for essay. Oh, okay. But I think you said he was being. But it was only Eric and Timmy together. She wouldn't ever say anything of what she meant. Timmy was removed because of doing of Eric, right? Because they were all removed because of what Eric, what he put into motion. So what is the essay that you spoke on? Yes, that's what I'm asking, because I thought she said it had something to do with Timmy and Eric. We all know that Eric created this. Yeah, absolutely. They'd still be sitting there at home doing what they do every day. You know, it's summertime. Timmy would be hot and he'd be telling the temperature, and you know what I mean? Ray would be holding his pants up out in the yard, looking at stuff, and Betty'd be washing clothes and hanging up their clothes, and nothing would have changed. And Sprout ain't rung the bell. Yeah, no, they have bones. I bought him some marrow bones, and so I don't know if you can hear him, but he's on the couch, chewing on his bones right now. Let me see. Actually, no, that's a German Shepherd. Sprout's sleeping here. They're all chilling out. They just ate a big dinner and they're chewing on their bones. So. That there was allegations made then Eric. That there was allegations made then Eric. Wasn't known about until after Timmy was the situation is something to Eric looked for essay. Yeah, obviously that wouldn't have even come up until after he was removed. And you know what? I mean, don't you guys find it interesting that Eric thought that the day that they got ripped out, kicking and screaming in ambulances, don't you think it's a little strange that he would think that same day he can take Timmy home and then get angry? Because I'm telling you what, I think as soon as they snatched up Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine, Eric wanted to immediately take Timmy, because the last thing I think Eric wanted was to Timmy down there talking to APS without him. Because up until then, Eric did all the talking. He made them think that he was talking for Timmy. Oh, well, what? Yeah, he just said that he wants to go to Georgia with me. Yeah, that's what he said. Mhm. No, he shakes his head. No, that means yes, he wants to go to Georgia. But once they got Timmy alone without Eric, I think they learned the truth that Timmy don't want to go home with him. And thank God that at least they got to stay together. I mean, that's like the only silver lining of anything in this is that at least Timmy and his mom and Ray are together, looks like. But just sad. And I don't know if those visits got interrupted because of those videos and pictures that were leaked. I don't know. Hopefully that didn't mess up Betty's visitation, Let's see. God help Patrick. I honestly don't think he was out to get rich. He was just having fun with Timmy until Eric came along. Yeah, but Patrick did some dirt too. He lied and he did all kinds of stuff. And he took the Whittakers' money and he never paid them. Yeah. What's essay? Sounds like a sprout's having an evening sack. Yeah, he's chewing on a bone. Or somebody is. I don't know. Can't see. They're over on the couch. Eric made allegations. Eric made of the family of SA. Or Timmy gave someone reason to think Eric did some kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth. No, I agree, Susan, right, Kathy? Heck, even Ray can communicate yesterday. Exactly. I heard that he does like one grunt is yes and two grunts is no or something. Like when he does the grunts, like that, like one or two. Anyway, they can plainly understand each other. So yeah, he just, like I said, just because they can't speak doesn't mean they're not listening to everything going on and understanding. It could have been as simple as somebody showing Timmy a movie. Yeah. Well, I got the clip of I got a pretty nasty clip where Patrick was showing Timmy horse testicles. And on the TV screen, he said, "Look, Timmy." And Timmy looked, and there was a horse testicles, and they were doing something with his testicles. And Timmy, like, he almost puked. Timmy gagged and almost puked. So yeah, he did see the horse testicles over at Patrick's. I have that clip, by the way. Yeah, he should have paid them. He would have looked so much better had he just paid them. Patrick does seem to be the less of the two. Yeah, in this case, I agree, Victoria. Yeah, the lesser of two evils, which means there's both still evil. One's just less evil than the other. I agree, Patrick lied a lot, went along with Eric about BJ being evicted. Yeah, all that. Yeah, he went along with a lot of lies. And Patrick had no interest in letting or having the Whittakers get paid. Ray communicated being happy that Mark arrived and wanted him to come inside and find. Yes. Yeah, actually, if, Ray, yeah, you could definitely tell what Ray was saying. And Lorraine too, for that matter. So the allegation is Eric S.A. something with Timmy then. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. So Eric could be a downright sicko, or it could have been something like a movie. Well, remember, the first thing that Eric's mom and Eric did was entice Timmy with a girlfriend. Hey, you're gonna not just one, you're gonna have a lot of girlfriends. In other words, lots of sex. Because what's a girlfriend mean to a 46-year-old that never had one? Hey, he might get to see some boobies or something. Who knows? Look, there has been wrongs done, in some form. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Eric has done with Timmy, but I think is what we've seen and what we know for sure is that Eric was manipulating the whole family. sitting him on the couch, making Timmy cry for who knows what. I look at it this way: if it wouldn't have been for Patrick and the trust that he had, he was then allowed to bring in Eric out. Yeah, they would have never. Eric would have got his hands on the Whittakers had it not been for Patrick. That's for sure. Yeah. Yep. He didn't stand a chance. he would have never. And Eric knew that. Eric knew that. That's why he thought, wow, it's Christmas came early. I'll get my foot in the door with the Whittakers. And the first thing he did was put everything in his name. Everything but except Patrick's Facebook, but everything else went in his name. Yeah, or it could have been him shaving on that grown man. That guy needs to be locked the hell up for what's known as face. Yeah, and anything like that might be true. Yeah, just like, because, just what we saw was just really inappropriate and creepy. Maybe not like against the law, but then if that's what he's doing on tape, and not even allowing him to go home, and then wanting him to hurry up and leave adult protection and go home with him. Because like I said, I think the last thing that Eric wanted was for Timmy to be alone with adult protection. Mm-hmm. Who did shave Timmy's chest hair? I don't know. One day he had chest hair, and the next day he didn't. One day he had a full-face beard, and the next day he didn't. Because somebody with a big hairy chest and a full-face beard would look pretty silly in Barney pajamas trying to get adopted by the dude from Georgia. Yeah, I don't know. As a matter of fact, it was one of the questions that I wanted Patrick to answer. And when he was going live and people were asking him questions, somebody did ask him that. I can't remember if it was Brooks or who it was. Somebody asked him, and he ignored the question. Who shaved Timmy? Who saved Timmy? That's a tongue twister. Who shaved Timmy? And he didn't answer. I don't know if he didn't see the question, if he ignored it, but yeah. Who shaved Timmy? Because that's so weird. And then and then tell him he's going to get a bunch of girlfriends and then treat him like a baby in 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know who did. I don't think Patrick's talking. Oh God, he shaved his chest. Yeah, somebody did, because he had a big hairy chest, and then the next day it was bald, like a little baby, a little baby chest. Yeah, because it'd be a lot easier for people watching to accept the fact he should be adopted if he looks like a baby. And if it looks like Eric is teaching him his ABCs for the first time. Okay, is the cookie? Say cookie. All right, A, B. Oh, look, I bought him a Dr. Seuss book. Okay. Oh, look, he's dance, Timmy, dance. Look, he's dancing to Barney, you guys. Timmy, dance. Dance, Timmy, dance. Yeah. It's all creepy. Listen, if I had Timmy at my house, I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't shave his chest. I would nothing. If he wants to shave his face, yeah, I'd find a round to razor up for him. But it ain't going to be my idea. And if he wants to take a shower, he can take a shower. It ain't going to be my idea. I'm not going to be hauling in there twice a day, showering him up. Like, what the hell? And he lives 5 miles down the road. Bring him home and let him do that. Tell him, hey, when I pick him up, but he was showering him twice a day. That is bizarre. Tongue twister. Who saved Who saved Timmy by the seashore? Yeah, yeah, it is a tongue twister. Betty and Larry wanted to get away from Eric, and Timmy told Betty, please don't let me, him take him. Eric, take me. Paraphrase. Yeah. Now Eric is a nervous wreck, speaks volume. Exactly. Because, yeah, something was making Timmy not like Eric and wanting to go home. It could be anything from, like sometimes my kids, like when they were little, only a couple times, I think twice maybe, my parents let them sleep over for a couple nights. And my kids would call me, we want to go home. Grandma and Grandpa got no good snacks here because they didn't have junk food there, and they didn't have their games and whatever. But they would call. They wanted me to go pick them up, which is 2 hours away. So I had to go pick them up because they didn't like Grandma and Grandpa's food and whatever. So yeah, I mean, sometimes they want to go, not because they're being abused, but maybe they just don't have their comforts at home. But I don't think that's the case with Timmy. I think he had all the snacks and all the stuff he likes. I think it was something else. Yeah. Eric is the idiot. Timmy signed his name in the books Mark bought. Yes, and Timmy was, every time in Mark's videos, he was doing word searches and crossword puzzles. I think mostly word searches. Yeah, Timmy knows how to read and write. And yeah, he did sign his name. Eric gives me Epstein vibes. Flying in adult men to spend the night with him. Exactly. And then he told everybody, like he was going to start crying, how he just loved how Timmy, everybody who met, all his loser friends that met Timmy, gave Timmy a long hug. And then the hugs got longer and longer with his friends. One friend, we don't even know who it is. Yeah, red flags. That's right. How many red flags is there going to be? I asked who shaved Timmy and Patrick's live. Yeah, so you did, huh, James? I know somebody did. I know somebody asked Patrick who shaved his chest, and Patrick, he didn't see it. There you go, man. I said red flags are flying. How many are you going to ignore? You know what I mean? And he's the one calling the shots on adult protection? That's just weird. I think Not My Monkeys 59 asked who shaved Timmy's chest. Yeah, as well. Yeah. You think Not My Monkeys did too? Yep. Yeah. That's weird as hell. The hell is wrong with all of them? I don't know. And he did this in front of 50,000 people across the whole world. And hardly nobody said anything. In fact, they're still cheering him on to this day. Oh, my grand. I don't know what that was. Anyway, my grandson got into the cookies while I was on the porch smoking one night. I said, your mom will be mad at me for letting you have cookies late at night. He told me to go back on the porch and not look at him. Yeah, it seems really abusive and weird. Not just I think he was, I think when the camera was off, I think Eric was probably mean. I do. Because remember when he picked up Timmy the very, very first time, he said, Timmy, get in the car. Where are you? Get in the car. Yeah, that mean look. Yeah, I think he can be mean. Alicia Byrne, yes, very weird. Major red flags. Yeah, it is. Creepy and weird. And if it looks creepy and smells creepy, it's creepy. I mean, yeah. Have anybody else? And it's people that, like I said, that people say, no, you're the weirdo for thinking like that. Then fine. Give them your kid. Let them take your kid back. Somebody you don't even know. Some YouTuber that wants to do videos. Have him take your kid back. Some stranger. Have them take your kid back to a hotel with a bunch of strange men you don't know. And have them all dress them up in little pajamas and lay in bed with them. And then order special TVs to go into the bedroom so he doesn't have to leave the bed. Like, what? Yeah. Yeah, Bossy Boots, that's right. Yes, it is. Well, good night to Betty. And I'm probably going to wrap it up too. We're at 3 hours. My battery's not totally dead, but it's getting down there. Good night to Betty. Thanks for coming in and staying up late. It is late, 12:30. He wasn't mean, he was forceful. Yeah. Good night, everyone. This is non-ignorant CNA has to get up. Oh, this non-ignorant CNA has to get up at 5 a.m. All right, Katie. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you staying up late because I know it is, especially if you got to get up at 5. But anyway, I appreciate your input, Katie. And have a good day at work tomorrow. Why the hell would APS give adoption papers off for Timmy? I don't know. Did they? Did they? Because that, again, we got to take Eric's word. We have to take Eric's word that they handed him adoption papers. I don't know if they did or not. On the first day, I would have kicked Eric's ass down the road. Yeah, right? Yep. And, yeah. The man's a beast. Sorry. At night, Katie. Yeah. Mark said it too. Mark yelled at him. I don't even know if I have that clip. I should have clipped it. But when they got back from the Amish, they had Timmy. And Eric was doing a video saying how, oh, they got the cookies and it was great and everything was great. In the background, Mark Douche says, Timmy, knock it off. He's really mean. Timmy, knock it off. I'm thinking, whoa. Okay, Mark doesn't like Timmy. Yeah, you need to get up at 6, babysit for grandson. All right, yep, I think I'm going to wrap this up too. We're at 3 hours and 15 minutes of random talk. All right, I'll go 15 more minutes starting now. That's probably how long my battery will last. What do you want to talk about randomly? What do you want to randomly talk about? Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to be doing something in the morning too. Me and my friend are going to go to some town somewhere that I don't even think I've ever been there, but we're going to go there and I don't even know what we're doing. I don't know. She's going to pick me up. Yeah, and a cheese wheel. Yes. Did she admit she's a CNA? Yeah, she said this non-ignorant CNA has to get up at 5 a.m. Well, thank you for coming in, Katie. Appreciate it. Yes, everybody make sure to grab your cheese wheel on the way out. Your 40-pound cheese wheel. Oh, man. See, and that's the thing. You see, one time when I was an adult, I was probably in my 30s. You know, and one day I asked my dad, I said, you know, how did you always know when I was lying when I was a teenager, right? Because when I was a teenager, a lot of times I didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes I did. Sometimes me and my friend, especially on the weekends, we would go to keggers and beer parties and stuff. And sometimes I would throw the kegger because my boyfriend was old enough to buy beer. And so we would go partying on Friday nights and but we would pretend that we were going to the high school football game, right? And or we'd pretend that we're going somewhere and like legit. But really we would just sneak off to these parties, right? And anyway, when I was like in my 30s, I kind of wondered, like, because when I didn't do anything wrong, my dad, like, didn't worry when I came home. But any time I like did something sneaky, when I came home, my dad knew it. And I thought, how in the hell does he always know that one time when I would do something wrong? You know what I mean? Then I saw in my 30s, I asked my dad one time, I said, when I was a teenager in high school, like randomly I would do something, I would lie to you and go do something. I said, I'm just curious, how is it you knew exactly when I was lying? Because I could never figure that out. My dad said, because he said, because whenever you came home and you were doing something wrong, you would over explain yourself and you'd give way too many details. Like you'd say, well, we got to the football game at 7:00, and then the first score they had one touchdown, and then we had some popcorn, and I bought a hot dog, and then we went over to her house, and then we played Monopoly and all. He said you would go on and on with these details, and he said it was so easy to tell when you were lying. And I said, really? And then ever since he said that, I realized that when people lie, they did the same thing I did when I was a teenager. They tell too many details. They go overboard. They're so worried. Like I was so worried to try to convince you what you did. Why go overboard on the details? It's because you're trying so hard to convince them that's what you did. So anyway, I've noticed that for decades now, and Eric is the same way. When Eric is lying, you can tell because he goes way over in the details. And in fact, the buying the cheese wheel, that's a good example. That's a perfect example. Oh, we went in there and John had to do the secret language, and he spoke Pennsylvania Dutch, and we just sat back and watched him do his magic, and he knew what he was doing, and then they spoke Pennsylvania Dutch, and then he picked up a big block of cheese and he bought that, and the deal was on. And I'm thinking, okay, that's way too many details. Stupid. You should have just not said anything. I mean, so watch when people tell way too many details and over-explain everything. Because, they're probably lying. And I noticed that with Eric. Way too many details. But then, that's also how you get caught up lying, okay? Because now I forgot about what the score was. I told him the score was, and I forgot what I bought. Was it popcorn or was it cheese pops? You know what I mean? Anyway, so with all them details, you're also likely to screw up the next time you tell it. You know what I'm saying? They are calling it capping now. Yeah, no cap. No cap. I've been telling you the truth, man. No cap. Anyway. So I learned that, and I thought, And my kids could lie to me. I believed everything they said. I never picked up on their bullshit. I mean, sometimes. But my kids are pretty good liars, actually. You like waffle? Huck, yes. I'm going with Huck tomorrow. I'm going with Huckleberry tomorrow. She's going to pick me up. We're going to go, I don't even know what we're going to do. She said if I want to go with her, I said, sure. I don't even know where we're going, but I'll go. I'm sure we'll eat lunch somewhere, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video, because I don't even know where I'm going tomorrow. Lucy and I had pancakes for supper. Oh, I love pancakes. Yes, as an adult. We used to have a butter and cheese guy. He used to give us 10 pounds buttered hunks and whole cheese rolls. Really? Oh, that sounds so good. You were an excellent liar. They thought I was the good kid for years. My sister would chew on her lip when she lied. Yeah, usually there's a tell. Usually, now the body language people say that when you lie, your hand covers up your mouth. because subconsciously your body is trying to stop yourself from lying. So your hand will, like, you'll itch your nose, but your hand will go up around your mouth area because your body is subconsciously trying to shut your mouth up. Yeah. But yeah, I was not a good liar. Good night, Kathy and friends. Y'all have a great day tomorrow. Thanks for the cheese. Yep. Grab your cheese on the way out. Thank you, Victoria. Thanks for coming. Sleep well. Because you're waffle? Yeah, I did want waffle. Not a good liar. It's just easier just to tell the truth and get it over with. And if you need to take some punishment, take your licks, okay? Get it over with and move on. Always base the lie on truth. Keep it exactly. See, I didn't keep it simple. I did not keep it simple. I over explained everything. I believed nothing. I believed everything my kid said. Oh my God, I was such a sucker. Like Judge Judy said, you can tell when teenagers lie because their mouths are moving. That's right. When you lie, you grab your tumbler. Yeah, grab for your tumblers. What, you guys? I didn't take any money from anybody. Mhm. I love the Whittakers. I never liked having a monkey on my back. Yeah. It's easier to say. But okay, so I'm going to sign off in 5 minutes, but I'm going to tell you real quick. Speaking of lying, somebody got caught lying again. So Toddy, in case you didn't see, Toddy One Skip put up a video on her Everybody Has a Story to Tell channel today. You can look it up. You can check out her video. She reads an email. And the email, and I'm sorry, she's got a line of text, a string of text messages. One of the parties is Elizabeth. You know Elizabeth, right? The one that said that Betty was on the live stream that night saying she loves the Purple Hearts. And I said, no, she wasn't. She was sick. And I got called a liar and everything else. Well, the truth has come out, folks, because I talked to Larry myself, and Larry said, no, she was not at Patrick's doing a live stream. Well, Toddy had to put a video up today with text messages from Elizabeth herself. And Elizabeth says in the text message that she was up at Patrick's and she wanted Betty to come on the live stream. But Betty was, so they're waiting for Betty to come back from North Carolina from Keisha's house, right? Her friend Keisha. But she said she got busy. She was at Patrick's using the Wi-Fi on Lady K's live stream. And then she went to the bathroom and anyway, she ended up missing the car that drove Betty home. But then she said, Elizabeth said, South Carolina, I'm sorry. The next thing that Elizabeth saw was ambulance rushing by Patrick's house going to the Whittakers. So Elizabeth said that she chased the ambulance down to the Whittakers and they were hauling Betty to the hospital. And she tried to help out somehow, whatever. But so there you go. Betty never went on that live stream that night. And she was trying to explain how it's not her fault. It's not her job to bring anybody anywhere. But yeah, thank you, Grace. Grace just put up the link. There you go. Yep. Elizabeth, ear on the door, Elizabeth. That's right. That's who. And so she shows the text out of Elizabeth's own mouth, her own words. And don't forget, Lady Planer's video with Lizzie chasing the M. Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah. And that's exactly. I linked it earlier too. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. So yeah, so Lady Planer did a video with Elizabeth running after the ambulance. Exactly. I don't even know how you knew that, but you're right. And that's what Elizabeth did. She saw the ambulance go by, and she wanted to have Betty on that live stream with Lady K that night. Remember, they promised us? Well, guess what? She didn't show up. But they all told us, oh, she's in the chat, you guys. She's looking at the chat. Hey, everybody. Oh, Betty, they want to know what your favorite color is. Oh, Betty said it's purple. Her favorite color is purple. Huh? Oh, she wants purple hearts. Can you guys give her purple hearts? Oh, she loves the purple hearts, you guys. What? Oh, Betty said the purple hearts are cool. Yeah, okay. Betty said they're cool, huh? No, Betty's in an ambulance going to the hospital, you liars. Liar, liars, pants on fires. Don't forget my video about ED, a pedal. Oh, yeah. That was in the same video, in fact. Because Tony talked about two different things in that video tonight. Yeah, Elizabeth did not ride with her. No, she didn't. Anyway, so out of Elizabeth's own mouth, that never happened. I left a string of purple heart in Toddy's comments. Did you really? That's funny. That is funny. Because it's true. Yeah, that is hilarious. Yeah, so again, proved a liar. And then she goes and has Patrick on, who's already proven a liar. So Patrick's been proved a liar, but she has Patrick on to vouch for her lies. Patrick's like, yeah, I don't know nothing about a live stream. Blah. He got manipulated and used like an idiot. Again, a useful idiot, okay? Just sit there and agree with anything I say. Okay, I don't know nothing about it. No. Okay, all right, thanks, yep. All right, no, he said no, that didn't happen. Like, wait a minute, isn't that what we said? Isn't the whole point that Betty wasn't up there? I'm hearing they talk random Bible. Yeah. What the hell was that? A weird squeak. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, my battery's getting down there, guys. I gotta wrap this up. I'm running out of juice. Yeah, then you're right, TNT. Hey, TNT, I didn't even see you. Yeah, then Lady K was at the airport. That would turn out to be true too, didn't it? Yeah, she was also at the airport, hiding her mother because she thought Toddy was going to come and kidnap her. Like, wait a minute, who is there any one person who thought Toddy was going to go kidnap Lady K's mother and do what with her? This makes no sense. Oh man, be a kitten. Yeah, the kitten's actually this kitten is sleeping here right on my desk. Must have snuck back and under the radar. Yeah, here it is. I'll show you real quick. It's sleepy. This one is sleepy. Yeah. Sleeping. Anyway. So there's that. Yeah, so anyway, again, Toddy, when Skip was flying to see you in Texas. Yeah. Well, you better watch out. She might kidnap your mother. Yeah, the airport shit. Yeah, how stupid was that? Spider's doing good. I saw him last night hanging upside down on a web on my camera. I could see him right through him like it was an x-ray. Hey, Grace, I've been here the whole time just playing a game on my phone. Oh, yeah, cool. And she doubled down on it, and then tripled down and quadrupled down. Yeah, that's right. And she just came back recently and doubled down on the lie that Betty was on the live stream. No, she wasn't. She was in an ambulance. Idiot, like everybody said she was. We all told you. No, we didn't believe you. We know Betty was in an ambulance. She was too sick to do anything. And yeah, but Elizabeth was trying to explain why it's not her fault that Betty didn't get a ride in the hospital. Anyway, because this was long before there was anybody got busted out. The only moral high ground was that Betty had to go to the hospital. That's right. Yep. She's still holding that lie to her heart. I know, isn't that sick? That is crazy. Still, I mean, come on. Just freaking admit it. Yeah, that is brain dead. Yeah, she was. She was on the live stream. Yeah, she was. You guys, she was on the live stream. I'm telling you, why would I lie? 7 a.m. I am sane. Am I sane? Are you insane? You brain dead. Elizabeth was sitting on ready to put Betty. Yeah. Remember? And she told remember? As a matter of fact, let's just think about this. What was the title at the beginning? First, it said Live with Betty Whittaker. Remember? Live with Betty Whittaker. And then she changed the title because you couldn't get Betty on there. Because Betty was in an ambulance going to the hospital because she couldn't breathe. She had pneumonia. Yeah, you could hear her striking her lighter. Mackay Connor, please meet your party at gate 8A. Mackay Connor. Yeah, I'm at the airport, guys. Yeah, I'm at the airport. Yeah, you guys, I'm at the airport. Yeah, didn't you hear the airport sounds? That's coming out of my YouTube recording. Yeah, wondering if I have any more phones that need cleaning out. Oh, well, do clean. Yeah, because that was interesting. Right out of Elizabeth's own mouth. Now what? Now do another video saying that Elizabeth's lying. And then throw it down on I did. Even though I'm sitting at an airport, somehow, yeah. Yeah, guys. Why would I lie about this? Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm at the airport, you guys. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, there's no smoking in here. I just hate it. Yeah. So there's that. Again, caught in a lie. Listen, if you get caught in a liar, don't even lie at all, okay? But if you do and you get caught, just cop to it. Say, yeah, okay, guys. Okay. Here's what I'd say. I'd say, okay, I lied. I lied. And then you could just tell them why you lied and then just say, yeah, I lied, okay? I lied and here's why. Because I'm going to tell you what, because people respect that. When you can admit when you're wrong, that's people admire that. And also, it lends to your credibility because if you just keep doubling down and insisting, I didn't lie. No, I didn't. Listen, we got pictures of you. It wasn't me. Listen, we got you on the recording. It wasn't me. Dude, we got pictures. We got everything. We got your handwriting. We got it. That was forged. It's AI. Like, okay. All right. So you have no credibility left. Not that you ever did, but no credibility. All right. Because even when cornered and with proof in everybody's face, you still cannot admit that you lied. So I don't know, maybe get Patrick back up there and make up more lies. I wonder if Eric ran in my counter while he's jet setting all of the counter. He could have. And he was in Florida. I think he was at the Miami airport when he back when he met President Trump in this stretch limo with his family. So yeah, they probably ran into my counter themselves. Back in the 70s, you could do that. Yeah. You can do a lot back in the 70s. Can y'all hear me dipping when I'm... No, I can't, Susan. Does it make a noise? Maybe opening up the can, I don't know. And Little Man-Child, ED claiming everyone knew it was a troll move. Yeah. Nobody knew. No. Now you got people lying for your lie, lying to cover up your lie. You know what I mean? But when she was caught, all of a sudden it was trolling. Yeah, it wasn't a lie. Yeah, right? Once you get caught with the recording in the background and proven, now, no, it's not a lie. I was trolling. Just pathetic to, like, the dead bots. Yeah, buying subscribers. Yeah. Oh, you're so impressive with 8,000 subscribers and only 15 people in your chat. That makes a lot of sense. Edie is busy telling people to suck babies. Yeah, tell them to suck off little babies. That's creep. You bought I did buy the 125 in the 70s. I did. It was mid 70s probably. I get that thing running, man, but I need a new gas tank, I think. Yep, it's got a leak. And I did try putting I actually tried patching that hole in my motorcycle gas tank. I used that the epoxy, the two things, that liquid steel or whatever it was, but it was the liquid steel gas tank patching, so it was supposed to be resistant to gasoline. And I patched it and it leaked, and I patched it again and it leaked. So I don't know. I'm done. I need a new tank, but them tanks are like $350 on eBay. And I can get one that's not the right color, but then I gotta sand it down and have it painted. So I don't know. What are you gonna do? Yeah. So yeah, I would like to get it. I live out on dirt country roads, and I'm right on a there's also a state trail just for motorcycles, so I can go on or off road. Gross? Yes, that is gross. I'm telling people to suck off babies' private parts is disgusting. Okay, Lucy just informed me that she peed her pad. I must leave out and go down the living room and change. All right, good night to you too, Susan. I am going to wrap it up too. I've gone longer than I thought I would. So I'm going to wrap it up. So this is not a long replay for people. 3.5 hours should about do it, huh? Up here should do a video showing Kathy how to do the repair. Yes. Yeah, I tried the liquid steel gasoline version and it didn't work. So now I was going to think about maybe having somebody weld that little hole shut, but hell, at that point I might as well get a new tank. Braze the tank. Well, I thought about that. I don't have anything to weld anymore. I got rid of everything when I moved. So I don't have a welder anymore. I don't have a wire feed. I have none of that anymore. Yeah. But anyway, good night to you too. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thanks for hanging in there. It's been a long one. If you've made it this far, you are the MVP champ. And you are a very curious soul. So thank you everybody for coming in. Your input is always awesome. And thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the memberships. Susan, I think, bought 5. She bought, I think, 5 memberships. Anyway, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I appreciate your thumbs up. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the views. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with us tonight. So anyway, and if you're listening on the replay, thanks for listening on the replay. And I think that'll about do it tonight, folks. Anyway, yep, get some sleep and do it again tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming, and